I've seen a naked boob. I can't get married now.
My virgin eyes. Oh,
no. My sexual.
So guess where I went this weekend?
To Pound Town.
I wanted to. That didn't happen. It sucks. No. So this past weekend was shut the fuck up. This past weekend was GR Comic Con. And it was actually my first time going to Comic Con. I did get some like footage and stuff. I'm still like sorting through that and going through it. But pretty dope little experience getting to walk around there. We didn't get to go to any panels or anything.
That's what they're fucking called. Oh my god.
Was
I was talking to my coworker about them today.
Couldn't think of the word panel.
And I was like, did you go to any presentations?
That's close enough.
Did you go to any the little conference? They do a little conference.
They do the little things where people talk.
They meet people talk. And he was like, no. He's like, I don't know what. He's like, no.
You should have stopped at the presentations. I feel most people would understand.
I feel like if you said presentation, I would know what you were talking about. I think he's just being an ass.
Yeah. You're good.
I don't think that's the worst mistake in the world.
It's not, but I was like...
But Mr. Biggest Nerd in his office for damn certain.
You probably had the 80,000 panels.
Look, right. My verbiage, I have learning disabilities, okay? My verbiage was inanimate.
Hilariously, episode 24 was the one where we talked about Colossal Con. Was it 24 or 23? One of the ones I just put out like this week was or last week was Colossal Con. Ironically. Anywho, yeah, went to Comic-Con. We went basically the last day, me and a friend of mine. And yeah, I got to hang out with that. And that was like, honestly, it was a pretty dope little experience. Honestly, it would probably be fun for all of us to go. If we can swing it next year. I really want to go like first day and really get to see. But I also want to go the last day because that's when you start to get deals on stuff. And you start getting like 10%, $10 off on types of shit. And like people are just trying to get rid of their stuff so that they don't have to deal with it.
Okay.
I remember when like there was a small group of us that went back in college, or I forget what year it was though, but that was the only time I went that one time. But what I remember, it was a good time, but I'm sure it gets bigger. I'm sure
it gets a little bit bigger.
Cons are almost always a good time, even if you go to like really small ones, like at Geek Fest down in.
Not the really loud mechanical noise.
I have to push it back. It can't stay. It has to go back. Sorry.
I got little fidget toys. I was supposed to bring it out. I forgot about them.
Even at Geek
Please,
Fest.
fidget toy companies, please, for the love of Christ, if you have silent fidget toys, please sponsor us. Or even just let me know you exist. I'll buy. I don't give a damn.
He will.
We just need stuff, like desperately.
Between Izzy and his pen, the thing that he
it'll flip
around,
this motherfucker here.
Stemming.
In fairness, I'm sitting here like playing with these and realized I'm making so much extra noise.
I mean, usually I put my phone down, but I've had my phone.
Yeah.
We're all stemming in different ways.
Please, for the love of Christ, if somebody, if you want to get your product out there, we will fucking bargain bin price and sponsorship. Just give us the damn toys and we will love you forever.
Help me. No, Geek Fest down in Kalamazoo. It's really small, but it's really fun. It's really fun. Yeah. I help out with the cosplay contest there. It's still a great time. They had I'm not gonna remember his name. Cocaine. No. They had the guy who voice acted Gale in Baldur's Gate 3 there last time, actually. So that was
I'd be able to tell you who that was.
Me neither. Even though I was there and heard it like a bunch of times and talked to people about it beforehand and had multiple conversations about it, and I'm a big fan of the franchise. Anyways.
It's like, wait, you've played more Baldur's Gate than I have.
Yeah, well, it doesn't mean he has to know the people behind it.
Yeah, bring your PS5 over here.
Right?
Fair.
But yeah, no. I think, yeah, I would definitely want to go like the first day. And if we go again, obviously like really like look at the presentations, look at the panels that are going on, and really like plan out to go see some of those. Because we got to walk around the Artist Alley. That's basically all we did, but we were able to spend like fucking 4 hours doing that. So
Artist Alley is my favorite.
Artist Alley does have some really cool shit. Maybe I'll have footage like posted up and showing off around here as we talk about this. Maybe I won't. We'll see.
Artist Alley is where you get the cool, like when I like this is Artist Alley actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, no, that's where you get the shit that you'll.
I get it.
And somebody will compliment you like later, and you'll be like, "Yeah,
I got this from
some more
thing to do."
This is also Artist Alley.
Really?
Yep.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of other stuff from Artist Alley, these little doodads, they're little keychains that you can shake around. It has like little characters in it. And then this one is a Switch with Tears of the Kingdom.
Ooh.
Tears of the Kingdom. Is it Tears of the Kingdom?
Hot Cup? I think that's Tears of the Kingdom.
It is Tears of the Kingdom. I was right.
I was like, from here it looks like you were correct. But
Yeah, Tears of the...
I'm gonna say,
I was
this
more
is
like, is the title Tears of the Kingdom? No, it is Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild.
Breath of the Kingdom, Tears of the Wild.
Right. I'll try to make sure to have the artist names and stuff. Zelda of the Legend. I'll have the artist name stuff on screen here. Give them the little shout outs, as well as this. This is kind of one of the bigger things I grabbed while I was there.
Hey.
This is cardboard art. Once again, I'll try to remember to have the artist name up there if I can find it. He did not give me a card, and I'm a little sad about that because I am not gonna have an easy time finding him. But this little piece here, other than
glow in the dark.
Yes.
Ooh.
So other than it just being like really cool cardboard art, he also, all of his art is glow in the dark, and it's also one of a kind. He makes these things to sell at Comic-Con. I'm sure he can make more of them. I think if someone commissioned him to do so, but this is the only one he had to sell, and I was the one who bought it, and I'm so happy.
If we find out that you have another similar one, we're gonna find you.
Coming for your kneecaps, and I know you live in Canada, so
set it on fire.
But yeah, no. So it was pretty decent. Like it was one of those things where if I go again, I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna plan it out and be able to hit panels while I'm there, and B, I'm gonna budget like $500 to just spend. Because you can rack up a fucking tab very quickly.
I spent $600 at ClassicCon, yeah.
Easy. Like it racks up easy. Because almost everything there is handmade usually. As well as just a lot of cool shit.
Yeah, you're gonna want to buy shit.
Yeah, I almost bought a sword. And then I was like, I'm fairly certain I can find these online somewhere. I'm not gonna buy these.
Yeah. Well, then there's vendors too. I mean, it's not quite it's not quite as restricted now as it used to be, but like I could have bought the whole slime set.
Well, really?
Yeah,
nice.
At ClassicCon, like mangas, like there'll be people that
I said that like I didn't see like books on books when I was there.
But like shit merch that like you'll have a hard time finding online.
Yeah.
Full sets of stuff, collections.
One of the cooler things I saw there was a kiosk, not even a kiosk, it was a whole thing of plushies that were all from Japan. Like the owner of the company that sells these plushies, I guess we were being told by the girl that was working there, she was like, yeah, the owners go over to Japan every like 3 months or so, and they buy up a bunch of like exclusive plushes and stuff that doesn't get sent to America, and then they bring it here and they'll turn around and sell it at like conventions or on their online store, I guess. It's expensive as shit. There was this
because they're probably paying retail in Japan and then reselling it to us. So
exactly, like they had this and some of the stuff is rare, so I'm not like shocked that it was expensive.
Yeah,
so they had this
edition.
Japanese like Detective Pikachu plush, like life size. So the thing was like 2.5 feet tall, super detailed, very nice looking fur, and posable, like posable tail, posable arms, and everything. $300. And I was like, not in my budget this year, but that is really cool.
That is
and in fairness, it did also have the original box. So it was like, yeah, that's gonna be expensive. But even like some of the smaller plushes were still going like $150, $250. So it's like, that's cool. I would not be against buying them, but it's something I can't do spur of the moment. I'd have to know going in that I'm spending that. But yeah, other than that, like a lot of cool vendor stuff, a lot of cool like crafts, and so obviously plushes, cardboard art. There was this guy who was doing he would do lasered wood crafts.
Right there he would, or like
not right there. He was just selling them, but just talking to him about it. Obviously, a lot of like paintings, a lot of artwork. There was this lady from China who was there who she does one of a kind scroll paintings that was really cool. And my date, she was gonna buy one and ended up just not being able to that day, but that lady was trying hard to get her to buy one. It was really funny. But that was like stuff like that. Like it was just a lot of really cool art stuff. And then of course the other main reason even anyone knows about Comic Cons or cons in general, and one of the other main reasons you go to a con, people cosplaying. And there was a lot of like really cool cosplays and a lot of really interesting cosplays. We saw a really good Deadpool. Like the guy was like he just like, it wasn't even like a crazy like detailed costume, but it looked good. He had the extra polishes and he was built well for it. And so it like came off as a really good one. I'll show you all the pictures later, but hopefully those pictures are up around this time-ish, somewhere at this point. Saw a really good Bowsette. Like she like a really nice dress, the shell on the back. There was some folks walking around. So they had there was two different groups actually. There was a Star Wars group that had one of the what are the sand people called?
Tusken Raider.
A Tusken Raider. So it was a Tusken Raider, and then it was some like Imperial guards and shit. And they were walking around with controllers, and they were controlling like life-size R2-D2s and some of the different robots from Star Wars. That was really cool. There was another group walking around with I don't know the characters of the show. I know of the show and I know a bit of the universe enough to know what a Dalek is, but they were from Doctor Who. And they were walking around a life-size Dalek. I got shot with it. It was awesome.
Nice.
It was amazing. So yeah, a lot of really cool shit. I sent you that snap of the Star Wars lightsaber kits. Like they were like $300, but they were like light up, build your own lightsabers. So we go back. We have to do that.
Yeah,
we have to do that.
Man, that takes me back
right
to when we went to
I was thinking about that.
Orlando. I forget where it was.
Orlando.
It was a long time
Well, it was
ago.
Orlando because we thought they still had Star Wars, and they don't. Disney now has Star Wars by the time we got there.
Right. I guess I was talking when I was younger. Like when I went with my family, it was forever ago, and I remember building that, and I think I still have that somewhere, but nice. I don't know. It's old and it doesn't work anymore. But I don't know. It was a good time.
Yeah, the things were fancy, and I really want to get one.
Those are definitely probably 20 times fancier.
Oh,
I'm sure.
Yeah. Right.
I'm sure.
There was a kiosk for like Harry Potter wands, which I never got a chance to ask her, but I think they were the same ones you could buy at Orlando Studio.
Really?
I think so. Like looking at the box and the way it was made, and like all that.
Like the black box and
the weird like not black, but it was like a really dark like raspberry magenta.
Okay. Yeah.
It's like I was looking at it, I was like, these look a lot like the ones. Not even gonna engage. I was like, this looks like a lot like the ones at Orlando Studio. Like, I wonder if they work with that company to resell these out, because they were really, you pick one up and they're so, it's not even a thing I've ever thought about. They were so nicely weighted.
God damn it.
I literally
No.
I was just thinking about chocolate raspberries and how much I like them, and then I looked over making that face and you doing this, and I was like, "Oh no,
so
I fucked up."
Completely unrelated to anything you said.
Yeah,
you're just still thinking about chocolate raspberries and have completely checked out of the conversation.
Pretty much, I was just like, "Man, Lindor chocolate raspberry goes so fucking hard."
Oh no.
The way you did this with it, though, too. It's so heavy weighted.
It was. Okay. It was. The wands had like such a nice like hand feel to them. Mm-hmm. Like I almost bought one, but I was like, I feel like this is just the one from Orlando and I don't need to buy another wand right now. Like I was more focused on buying, since I didn't really budget it out. I was like, I want to buy more like handcrafted, kind of unique stuff. Right.
Well, yeah. Well, one of my favorite things about the Artist Alley is interacting with artists directly and supporting them directly is very enjoyable. And sometimes you can find, depending on the con and the size of the con, sometimes you can find some pretty popular artists. Yeah. Like I have a piece from shit. I should know what their name is.
Have a piece from shit.
I think they're called
very popular artists.
Incredibly popular artists.
I wonder if I could go up and grab their thing real quick.
Wait, I've seen this style.
Yeah, I know. They have a pretty distinctive style.
Yeah.
It's a pretty
No, now they can copy it and make
How's that look?
Ooh.
Down a little.
So yeah, Comic-Con was fun. I definitely want to go back, and like I said, next time I want a budget for it, as well as like plan out for like doing stuff.
You went over, like super over budget, or you just...
No, but it's good to have some money set aside beforehand because
you can just spend a lot very quickly. Yeah. And if you're not planning for it.
I did set myself a limit of $600 and I met it.
Nice. And it's very easy to hit that limit. And so like I got out of it by only spending maybe like $150 on some small shit and some stuff for the friend I was with. But like you could easily spend a lot. And there's a lot of stuff I wanted to buy while I was there. And then I was like, I'm not going to do this because since I didn't budget this out, the last thing I need to be running into bills and shit.
Yeah. And then being like,
shit. I did get to meet Doug Walker.
What?
Oh yeah, I was meant to tell you about this. I met Doug Walker. He's been there every year for the last like 10 years.
Wow.
He told me. If y'all don't know who Doug Walker is, he also goes by the Nostalgia Critic of Channel Awesome. He has his own website. I don't know if he still posts anything to YouTube anymore, but he like defined like my early college like internet watching history.
You watching somebody walking dogs?
You got like a kid out in the world we don't know about?
I can neither confirm nor deny.
Not that I know of.
It would be a surprise to me.
Which is unfortunate. No, Nostalgia Critic, he did obviously like a lot of movie reviews. He was kind of like, he is like the guy you watched if you didn't watch Red Letter Media, I would almost say, or like he was the alternative or the competitor to Red Letter Media. But we used to watch him a ton, like a lot. But yeah, he was there. Super cool. Like super cool to meet in person. I very specifically didn't bring my camera up when I went to go talk to the guys that were there. I don't know. To me, it was just like, last thing I think they need on the third day they've been here is cameras in their face and people are trying to talk to them. But like whether they actually felt that way or not, that was just like my own personal thing. But yeah, no, super cool to talk to. And then right after talking to him, talked to Phil Lamar. If y'all don't know who that is, he is a voice actor that voiced so much of Cartoon Network.
Really?
Yeah, Phil Lamar, it was the voice behind Samurai Jack, the voice of Static Shock, the voice of he's the voice of what is it? Ow. His Futurama, he's Hermie. I think Hermes. Yeah. He's the accountant dude, the Jamaican accountant dude from Futurama.
Oh,
yeah. So he's done a lot of voices. He was cool to talk to too. He seemed very tired. He seemed ready to be gone when I went to go talk to him, but he was still chill. I was like, I'm not gonna fucking blame you. Like, I'm gonna do 3 days of this shit either.
He didn't give me the most positive experience. I'm gonna shut up now. It's like I don't know where I'm taking this.
I don't know where this joke is going. Fuck. But yeah, no, he was cool. Even did a Aku, yelled the Samurai Jack Aku when my friend asked him to. So he was still pretty chill. So that was also a really cool experience. And I would love to like get to meet them on like the first day out there when they're not like bogged down after 3 fucking days of this bullshit.
Right.
So yeah, I think I'm definitely interested in going next year. If y'all want to figure that out and plan that out and go, I'm down to make it happen next year. Yeah. Whether I'll cosplay or not, still up for debate, but
I probably won't be able to make it next year.
You'll be dead?
As long as it keeps happening on the 16th. I usually have a running plan on that day.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's happening the whole weekend.
So maybe.
It's like, yeah, it runs Friday to Sunday.
So I might be able to make it on Friday. Usually it is the whole weekend.
November?
Yeah, last year I went to Nashville. The year before that it was the Kalahari.
Oh, okay.
Usually there's a thing.
So every year, but this year,
pretty much, yep.
You can well, we'll figure something out. We'll figure it out as we go. And if you can't go, oh well.
Yeah.
We could also go to Detroit Comic Con, but
we could. We could go to Youmacon. Mm-hmm. We could go to Colossal Con or Colossal Con.
I do have to do Colossal Con with you at some point.
Multiple Colossal Cons.
Yeah.
Could just travel the country going to conventions and filming it and making money off of it.
That would be awesome. And with that said, y'all should like and comment on this video, as well as go follow us on Spotify, Twitter, Instagram, 5 stars on Spotify as well. Thank you very much. Also, join our Patreon. Currently, it is $1 a month. It is not going to be like that for forever. And when is it going to stop? But you should better get in there before it does. So, all right. So with that out of the way, do I want to bring up the beef stuff right now?
I like beef. It tastes pretty good.
It is pretty good. And I fucking made some steaks yesterday that were.
Steaks are. I crunch those things.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, I don't live here anymore.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true.
And in fairness, it was only 2 of them. And the only reason I made them yesterday is because I thawed them for last week, didn't do them, and didn't want to refreeze them again.
Fair enough.
And I was like, I need to go on and cook these now. So I did I tried an experiment from Guga.
What'd you do?
Used Caesar salad to marinate one, and then used Worcestershire sauce to marinate the other.
Ooh.
And let those marinate for like 2 hours a piece.
They were smacking.
They were pretty fucking good.
Okay.
The Worcestershire sauce one in particular, that thing was so fucking tender. It was like 3 tablespoons and only marinated for like 2 hours.
Really?
Yeah, and then sous vide for another 2.5 hours. And
did you sous vide it in the marinade, or did you remove the marinade?
I removed the marinade, so I let them marinate for 2 hours first, and then sous vide them. In the video he did when he sous vide it, with like let him. I know that was dumb. When he had it, when he had the marinade in the bag while it did the sous vide thing, apparently it washed out a lot of the flavor, and they didn't really like it. So I was like, fair enough.
When you say the other one was marinated in Caesar, you mean like
Caesar salad sauce?
Like you?
Sauce. I said Caesar salad dressing.
Okay, I was like, you made Caesar salad,
a whole Caesar salad,
the steak in the salad,
yes,
you tossed the salad, and you just sat it there,
and then just left it.
Made a steak salad, like a steak. You ever had steak tartare?
Right,
it like that.
I've never had steak tartare,
and then I took the steak out.
I think steak tartare is where I draw the line.
I've never heard of steak tartare.
Imagine taking a raw steak and chopping it up into little itty bitty pieces and then eating it.
They brown the outside just a tiny bit, though.
Do they?
I think so, don't they?
I think it depends on the presentation.
I think they use I think like balsamic vinegar or some kind of vinegar or acid to.
Actually, I realize I'm talking about it. It's like learning words through context.
Yeah.
I've seen people make steak tartare and like TikTok.
Same. That's where all of my knowledge.
I don't actually know the history or whatever, but I've seen several presentations where they don't brown it, and I've also seen several where they do.
Yeah.
But it is.
The point being, it's very barely cooked, if at all.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It is like meant to be done with incredibly fresh steak.
I think I've had it.
Really?
Yeah.
Where?
Eating pussy doesn't count.
Was it like a company Christmas party?
Oh, okay.
What fucking company did you work for?
I said
I'll bleep it later.
It was for a Crate and Barrel Christmas party.
Oh, that makes sense.
Okay,
yeah, that makes sense.
So
fair
like
enough.
Fancy bougie people.
Fair enough. We had like blue steak at your company party in Vegas. Like
blue?
one of the. So blue is a cook temperature. So you know how you have like medium rare, all that fun jazz. Blue is you basically have a crust on the outside and the inside is more or less raw. It's just cooked enough to be pasteurized.
Interesting. How did it taste?
Pretty okay. It was really thin. It was really thin sliced filet mignon.
Oh, okay. That's right. I remember that. I forgot about that.
It was very cold, so. Oh. It was good. It was steak.
I said eating.
Huh?
No.
I said eating pussy doesn't count. Eating those beef curtains don't count, bitch. But no. Why are we even talking about steak? Oh, that's right. I remember why now. Because I made steak over the weekend. Yesterday, actually.
We got different definitions of the weekend.
I'm good at this. Shut up. And then I got on that conversation because I do. Okay, so all right. Quick update. This update actually has extra steps compared to what we last talked to, and what even I last shared to y'all about it. But so the update on the Kendrick Lamar Drake diss beef and all that shit going on. The last time we talked about it in episode was back in episode 20. We and even at that point, I think Not Like Us had already come out. Very soundly, Drake lost. If you have followed hip hop at all, even a little bit over the last few months, you know Drake has lost, and he's been kind of spiraling lately by losing even more. We'll talk about a little bit of that. Since that update, I don't think we talked about this in an episode yet. Kendrick Lamar is performing at the Super Bowl.
We talked about this.
Did we talk about this?
Did.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. So we did talk about that. We would have talked about the pop-out show then and how he did it, like fucking say, probably in the same conversation, actually. Well, the last big thing we heard from Kendrick is him doing that Super Bowl thing. And since then, it's been a weird, like, shit of the beef keeps coming up, but Kendrick has no hand in it. But Kendrick keeps winning because of it. So
it's like, don't bring it up because he's gonna win.
Don't bring it up. It's funny because people keep quoting the line from Drake's Family Matters. Kendrick just opened his mouth. Somebody hand him a Grammy right now. Which is really fucking funny because Kendrick is currently nominated for 7 or 8 Grammys in the Grammys right now. 5 of them are just for the song Not Like Us.
Oh, man.
It's so many songs for Not Like Us. It, like, the big question right now actually is he going to perform that song at the Super Bowl? And given the context of the song, the lyrical content of the song is like, will that song, like, but given how important that song is and likely part of why he got chosen to do the Super Bowl, is like, is he going to do that song at the Super Bowl?
I feel like they'd want him to censor it in some way.
And then that's the thing, right?
Or like a tribute of sorts where they may play a little, like, you know, the melody or something, but he want to actually sing it, or he'll have the audience
let the audience sing it.
And
so
we just want the OV-ho part.
Oh man, so I'm currently on. I think they're gonna play a bit of it, but I don't think he's gonna actually rap any of it. Because the important parts to rap, you can't rap. You cannot rap this in corporate in the corporate chill that is the Super Bowl, right? Like you can't do the certified lover boy, certified pedophile. You can't do that during the Super Bowl, right? You can't do it at the Super Bowl halftime show. You can't do wop 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 dot fuck him up in the halftime show. You can't do he might do and it's probably A minor. That's probably might be the only one he can get away with.
It's probably
try to struck a chord and it's probably A minor. Like that. Yeah. Like he might be able to get away with that. I think if
and maybe popping his titty out.
For those who don't know, Janet Jackson and Justin Timberlake did the Super Bowl halftime show for what was it, 90? No, not even 90s. Was it like 2003 or some shit?
It was pretty early. I was very young.
A long time ago, but that is where you get the infamous moment of wardrobe. The first time I ever heard of wardrobe malfunction was from that, and it was Justin Timberlake was supposed to reach over and like rub his hand, like pull his hand across her chest, and like her whole fucking like bra plate came off. It's just a titty just out. Like everybody got to see.
Do you think it was on purpose or by mistake?
I can imagine him saying in his mind, I'm going to do this.
I think if we talk about if it's on purpose, I don't think it's on purpose on Justin Timberlake's part. I think it's on purpose as just a choreographed thing part. But given Justin Timberlake and Janet Jackson at that time, it would be weird for them to be the ones pulling this stunt, even like if it's a choreographed thing. Mm-hmm. But also...
Well, that was the whole thing, was like people were like, oh, they just did it for the media attention.
As I think about it, it doesn't make a lot of sense why that piece came off so easy. And it was just it wasn't like the thing ripped at like a strap and like it just kind of took. It's literally like it was a plate piece that just came off.
Yeah.
And it's like,
which could just be how the costume was made, but
also that's a weird way to make a costume, I feel like. Mm-hmm. But once again, I was a fucking child. I didn't even know this happened until I was hearing about it from everybody.
First time you saw a titty.
I didn't get to see it.
I saw it live.
Yeah, a lot of people. That's the funnier part, is that because it was actually aired live, Janet Jackson's titty was just on fucking in front of everyone's eyes on the biggest platform in fucking America. So Janet Jackson has her titty out in the public eye. So I don't know. Like, if I think of Justin Timberlake or Janet Jackson, I don't think of either one of those two being willing to like pull that stunt for views, but also like it doesn't make sense how that happened. But then again, as they are costumes, and with like Super Bowl halftime performances, there's a lot of costume changes that go on and a lot of things. Yeah. Maybe it was meant to be like easy rip away for swapping into other shit.
Stop.
Unprofessional.
I know, I'm sorry. I got like 30,000.
Oh, I see why people thought that was intentional. Okay.
Yeah, because he just like reaches over and like grabs and pulls. And it's like, that's...
Because, yeah, it looked like he just come up and grab the titty, and pull it off.
Is that one censored or is it uncensored?
I don't.
It's hard to tell because it's fucking early 2000s television.
Yeah, it's making a buy on TikTok, so I think it's probably censored in some form. But
oh yeah, definitely.
But but it's also like not. I don't know.
But it's funny because the Joe Budden podcast, another big like hip hop podcast, they were just talking about it and they brought up the Justin Timberlake Janet Jackson thing, and they were like that moment also like spurred a lot of red tape when it comes to like Super Bowl performances and shit, of like you can't have that ever happen again.
I can see that.
Yeah, like the entirety of America's watching, just flashing a tit.
Just flash a tit. Mm-hmm. Which, with the benefit of hindsight, is like, gives a shit. But
yeah,
also it's America and it's been this way for so fucking long. We know people are going to be.
Kids are watching.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
They know what a titty looks like now.
Wait.
He's going to jack it all night now. Oh my god.
It's just going to. Just the idea of there being a titty on screen was enough for me. Young Rueben learned about masturbation that day.
I didn't see it and I haven't seen one, but man.
But goddamn, the idea of one must have been amazing.
I've seen a naked boob. I can't get married now.
My virgin eyes.
Oh, no. My sexual purity's been corrupted.
Oh, now I'm going to go do coke and hell Satan.
Curse my infidelity.
Oh no. But yeah, no, I'm pregnant now. Fuck. But yeah, no. So I think he does not like us, but I think it's gonna be a very small part. It's gonna be alluding to not like us. I don't know if he's gonna actually perform it or not. But that's the fun. We get to find out and we get to speculate still because we're recording this.
I think he's gonna do the whole fucking song.
That would be amazing. That would actually be amazing if he just did the whole song.
I want him to just hit play, sit down on the stage, and just
let the song just go.
Yes. And like maybe he says the first couple words and then the audience just takes it.
70,000 people just rapping Not Like Us. Because so another thing that just happened over the weekend, Tyler the Creator, which we need to talk about him a little bit too, because he's been having a phenomenal time. He just had his festival called Camp Flaggra. It's
cool word, bro.
Right. It's Flaggra is
Sounds French.
It's backwards, and I'm trying to remember how to say the words in my head. Golf Wang. No, wait. God damn it. I have to see it. Because otherwise I'm going to fuck myself up. I get to use my phone. Haha.
Oh.
Oh. Camp. Flog. Yeah, Golf Wang. I was saying it right. Golf Wang. Which is, I guess, his clothing brand, I think. Or it's some brand he's associated with, and he flips it backwards to make the name for his festival. While there, one of the artists he had perform was not even like it was DJ Mustard, which, if you know the name DJ Mustard, you know is the guy who produced Not Like Us.
Mustard on the beat, ho.
Hey, Mustard on the beat, ho, beat up, any rap nigga here, freaked up. No ambulance. So he took a chance, like he took his moment while he was on stage and trolled Drake a little bit by he played a song by The Weeknd and Drake. I forget what the name of the song is, but he plays The Weeknd's part, and then just as he's going into Drake's part, it like plays a bit of it, just the instrumental, and then just as it's about like Drake's about to start saying shit, he goes psych and plays Like That instead. And of course, he also played Not Like Us, and everyone in the crowd rapped it word for word. Word for fucking word, which is not a thing people do very often. Like being able to do, like people will do the memorable parts of a song, but being able to do the whole song word from word, especially a rap song, is uncommon. So the fact that everybody in the crowd is rapping word for word is like, it shows how important that song is to this year. Like that song was to this beef and to hip hop as a culture, right? Which is why it's so like, there's no way he gets out of the Super Bowl and not do that song. Like he doesn't, there's no way he just doesn't do that song, but we'll see. But to talk a little bit about Tyler, the Creator, and then we'll get back to that whole bullshit. Tyler, the Creator, has been having a pretty amazing year from his appearance at the Pop Out, where he came up and people, and in the same vein, everybody's singing along when he does his song Earthquake. That was a really powerful moment, especially for like Tyler, the Creator. He put out an album about 3 weeks ago now, maybe about a month ago now, called Chromacopia, which fucking phenomenal album. Like it is a really cool, just as an art piece, it's really, really good. It's very much about him realizing he's growing up and that he's like maturing. He's in his 30s now and looking at like, how does he reconcile the kind of punk aesthetic, the rebel, the I do whatever the fuck I want that he started with in the rap industry. And how does he reconcile that with like, and now I'm actually 30 and thinking about like, do I want kids and do I want to start a family? Because kind of now is the time to be starting a family if I'm going to do it. And like the understanding that like, man, I'm just getting older and I'm not that kid anymore. And like the whole album is just kind of a back and forth of him like grappling with this concept. It was really good. If you haven't listened to Chromacopia yet, go listen to Chromacopia. My favorite song is actually the first song on it. It's Saint Chroma. Such a good fucking song. But yeah, he's been having a fucking phenomenal year. Like he had a cult following for the longest time, and he's now been catapulted as like one of rap's greatest, like hip hop's greatest right now. To the point that like people are like, the fact that we never put him in the big three, or we never even talked about him in the big three, is kind of an insult to Tyler, the Creator. Because he is easily one of the top hip hop artists right now. But yeah, that's Tyler, the Creator. But getting back to the beef shit. So not long, a little bit after Kendrick announced that he'd be doing the Super Bowl, about a couple weeks went by. And then J. Cole, of all fucking people, puts out a new song called Port Antonio. And J. Cole, 5 months after the end of the beef, decides to bring up the beef and say his piece on why he bowed out of the beef. It did not go over well oh my God, the fucking shitstorm this dude opened up. Because in the song, he doesn't even say anything that salacious or anything. Mm-hmm. He basically goes, I'm not going to have anyone like put me against like these dudes and force me into a beef. I backed out of the beef because, and I'm paraphrasing because I can't fully remember the lyrics. But one of the lyrics was, I wouldn't have lost a battle. I would have lost a bro, would have gained a foe. And people took that because very infamously, J. Cole technically puts out the first diss track of the battle. Like that is a shot. Like that does not, while it does directly address both those two, even though it doesn't actually say, he doesn't even say their names. He just addresses the song First Person Shooter. J. Cole is the first one to put out an official diss track. He then, like 3 days later, apologized for that diss track. And then a few more days later, removed the diss track, in which that becomes important in a second too. But people remember that. People clown J. Cole for it. I even clowned J. Cole a little bit and was like, this is why people are clowning you. But ultimately was like, it is what it is. He was smart to back out because then we get the rest of the beef. We get Meet the Grams and everybody was like, J. Cole, we see you, buddy. And he could have left it at that. Could have left it at that.
What's the name of the song?
Port Antonio. But so in Port Antonio, he is kind of back on like saying like I'm the best. It almost comes off kind of like a 616 in LA actually, where it's like it's not a super hype upbeat song, but it's not like super somber either. It's kind of in that middle state of being like a kind of a chilled out, kind of a lower tone, kind of a more serious tone, but not too serious type deal. But like in it, and so he gets to that part as well as like this is where it gets weird because he never says Kendrick's name, but he does say Drake's name. And in the moment he does that, he's like, Drake, don't ever let anyone tell you that we not cool or whatever the fuck. I'm just hoping you get back to like, I'm just hoping you find your way back to the right path type shit. And it just comes off as like ass kissy. Like he's like kind of kissing Drake's ass a little bit. The fucking fallout of that. And so this gets us to the video I shared. Of it's from Deleted, who goes on a rant and it's kind of amazing. But he's like, I'm so fucking sick of J. Cole. Because I very much like J. Cole as a rapper. I very much like his music. I don't listen to him. I've never listened. I've not followed him his whole career. I would say I very recently got into J. Cole, but I do like his like ability. And so this dude like Deleted was going on about like J. Cole kind of's been doing this where he'll talk tough and he'll kind of go at people and then he'll play the moral Jesus card and go, this isn't me. I should be above this. I'm so sorry. And it's like, a lot of people, so like when it was during the beef, while people did clown J. Cole, a lot of people defended J. Cole because it's like, y'all shouldn't be so bloodthirsty that y'all want to see someone. If someone felt like that they shouldn't have been in this beef or they didn't want to like beef with their friend, like, well, who is it? Like, who are we to say that this person should be clowned for like bowing out? That's maturity. But after Port Antonio, and it sucks because J. Cole could have just shut the fuck up and it would have been fine. But after Port Antonio, people were pointing out J. Cole is damn near 40 and is still doing this. J. Cole himself said he got peer pressured into doing Might Delete Later, or not Might Delete, but 7 Minute Drill on his album Might Delete Later. He was like, everybody in my camp, they peer pressured me into doing it. And at first it was like, oh, okay, we get it. And then it's like, you're the oldest of the three. Like, J. Cole, you're 39, bro. What the fuck you mean you got peer pressured into doing that? And you are the top artist in Dreamville. The fuck you mean you got peer pressured into it?
Don't make no sense.
That don't make no sense. And this isn't a one-off thing for him. This isn't like a single misstep. Like, Deleted really like pulled up the receipts and took J. Cole to task and was like, J. Cole has done this so many times that I don't fucking believe you. Like, he pulled up when J. Cole did it to not Young Thug, Lil Yachty. I guess when like back when Lil Yachty and mumble rap was becoming like a big thing, J. Cole took like shots at all mumble rappers and was like calling them not real hip hop. And then the second he gets called on it, he's like, yeah, you right. Like that was like, I was just being a hater and my spirit was misaligned and like all that. He did it with some other folks where he'll like kind of beef with them and then pull it back of being like this super spiritual, like I don't fault anyone who decides that their morals, like I wouldn't fault anybody for like picking their morals over like whatever the perceived idea of whatever they're doing is, right? I'm never gonna like fucking pick on that, but like it's the two-facedness of, and I would never fault somebody for failing from time to time, right? But there's only so many times you can do it before it's like, you're not failing because this isn't just a misstep. This is a pattern now. Mm-hmm. And you're just doing this because you keep getting away with it. Mm-hmm. The same way Drake gets away with, and this is going to get into another part of this conversation that came up after that whole J. Cole thing. But he gets away with like escalating beefs into places they shouldn't be, mm-hmm. and then acting like he didn't do it. Mm-hmm. So the J. Cole thing happens. He gets clowned for a little bit, but luckily because Drake can just not stay out of the goddamn press's eye, luckily that blows over pretty quickly. So everybody's like, kind of fuck J. Cole for real. Like, I don't personally believe that. I don't have a stake like a dog in that race, but a lot of people have gone like, no, J. Cole is two-faced and I'm tired of pretending like he's not. And I was like, God damn, bro. But
the picking fights and then pretend and then being high and mighty.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like, don't like either be high and mighty and be above this shit or don't, bro. Mm-hmm. At a certain point, at nearly fucking 40 years old, you got to go on and pick your side.
Which is why you got to respect Kendrick for just.
Which you got to respect Kendrick.
And he gave zero fucks. He right. Was like, I know what I'm doing.
No, if we're doing Drake, this, let's fucking do it. Like, I'll forsake my morals right quick. Drake, you's a bitch. Shit. There was 2 points I wanted to get to. There is the thing about Drake I wanted to get to, but I want to jump back for 1 second. What was I about to say? I was going to say, my thing with J. Cole and what it kind of made me realize is that it feels like J. Cole cares less about being a good, like morally upstanding person. Mm-hmm. And he seems more focused on
the perceptions of his peers.
He likes people perceiving him as being someone chasing moral goodness than he cares about being morally good. Mm-hmm. Like he never wants to hit the finish line on that because he likes the attention of running the race.
Mm-hmm. Well, it sort of seems like, he wants to be right. He wants to sound tough in his music. Right.
Right.
But then he can't like back that up.
Well, and that's the whole thing about like, why don't, because I think we talked about this a little bit, like, and this was the big thing when he first did 7-Minute Drill and then backed out, was like, you did all this tough talking of like, no one can fucking see me and like, I'm the greatest rapper alive. And if anyone ever tried to test me or come at me, like, you're going to really have to prove your shit. And the second someone came at him, came at you, you fucking threw, not just tail between the legs, you threw a punch, connected, and then, this ain't me. Take your best shot. I'm gonna stick my chin out, take your best shot. And that's what he got fucking clowned for. But it's like, ultimately, it's like, okay, fine, whatever. But if you're doing this constantly, mm-hmm. and especially when like he'll do it with people and he'll beef with people that don't like, who are not going to respond because they're not on that caliber.
It reminds me of you see the guy on TikTok who'll be like, all right, we're going to play tag now. All right, tag, you're it. I don't like this game.
I've seen that. Yeah, I've seen that. It is the most infuriating shit. But yeah, so it's like he has this thing where it seems like he wants to be seen as a trying to find Jesus guy instead of being someone who finds Jesus. Like you care more about people seeing you struggle to be better than you care about being better, and it's like, that's whole shit. Like that's not great.
Yeah. Well, based on the stuff that you said, it makes a lot of sense if he's chasing, like if he's more worried about the perceptions of his bros than he is about being right or wrong, or throwing a punch and connecting, or winning a fight, then the shit he be doing making sense.
It's starting to make more sense, right?
Because it makes sense why Highway get peer pressured into making a diss track he doesn't really care about.
Right.
And then when things get real, he would back off.
He'll back off and go.
And then he would be like,
Jesus was disappointed in me.
My spirituals are all disaligned.
This is misaligned.
And why he would still feel the need to say something when his best move would just to back off.
Was just to shut the fuck up. That was your best move. Everyone had already gotten over it and forgave you.
You survived.
You survived.
You made it out, and then you went back in.
And then you jumped back in. It was like, bruh, what are you doing, dog? But
you swam out of the river, then tried to walk on water.
Right?
Yeah.
Out of the frying pan into the fryer, as they say, right? But luckily, the other part of this equation was Drake, and Drake can't stay out of the fucking limelight for shit. Because one of the most recent things Drake did, other than a lot of weird missteps, but one of the most recent things he did. So there is a basketball player that used to play for the Toronto Raptors, named DeMar DeRozan. I'm saying that right. Yeah, DeMar DeRozan. He ultimately left the Toronto Raptors, got and moved to a different team. During the beef, his name came up in Not Like Us, with the line, I'm glad D Rose came home. Y'all didn't deserve him neither. And that was Kendrick going like you, because it was a really big thing that Drake and DeMar were pretty good friends, especially when he played for the Toronto Raptors. And so his name got brought up, and then like obviously during the Pop Out, he was at the Pop Out tour, and he's been seen like vibing out to that song. And like DeMar's from Compton. He's from LA. So like in this big thing of like, whose side are you taking in this one? He's going to take his home fucking town. And he took the side of his hometown to some degree, in which like, and I almost said Dwayne Wade. That's not LeBron James. It's another really funny one, because LeBron James and Drake are also really good friends. They had a whole thing. And then you get shots of like LeBron singing the song in clubs and at the Pop Out show trying to hide away, and his wife stopping him from dancing to Not Like Us. That one cut Drake to his core. It was really funny. But yeah, so like now, and I guess like Drake has decided that DeMar DeRozan is an enemy, because at a Toronto Raptors game recently that so DeMar was playing, I forget what team he's on now, but he was playing at a game in Toronto. And Drake, because Drake has to be this way, is on the like a floor side seat. Him and one of his OVO motherfuckers. I don't think it was Party Next Door, and I don't think it was Chubbs. I don't know who it was, but I think it was Chubbs. But they're on the road, and he is like staring down DeRozan, like trying to intimidate this dude. And it's the stupidest shit, because he's standing there in this poofy ass like green like camo. You gotta look this up. As well as like his hair is braided, and he has fucking pink barrettes in his hair, and it's like, which I
have seen.
You've probably seen this if you've been on the internet at all lately, right? And I want to make something clear while they look this up. I think there's been a lot of like, especially when the talk of like Drake's behavior and like his sense of dress, fashion, his hair and shit. There's been a lot of like very like soft, casual homophobia that I do not agree with. I don't give a damn if his fingernails are painted. I don't give a damn if he has barrettes in his hair. I don't give a damn about the duck lips shit. Like him doing shit that is not traditionally masculine, I don't really care that much about, because there's enough to talk about with Drake. But I will say it is kind of hilarious to see him trying to intimidate a dude with pink barrettes in his hair.
It is not intimidating to be dressed like
his choice in women.
Yo. Yeah, bro, looking kind of.
Bro, that's what I was gonna say. He looked like a country girl, and he looks like
right,
like a little girl.
Bruh.
Which, you know, as far as the fashion choice is fine, but
his fashion choice is fine, but it's like you can't do this, bro, because it's gonna make you look goofy as shit.
It's not bringing the energy.
It's not bringing the energy.
What are those?
Right?
What are those shoes?
I don't even know. That's just Hollywood.
His pants billows out at the bottom.
Yeah, it's Hollywood high fashion that I don't understand. But it's like you're standing there trying to intimidate a dude that could easily whip your ass. Like, don't forget, DeMar DeRozan is a professional basketball player. All this dude does is work out.
He's got no drip.
Right.
And yet he's coming out here yelling at him like...
And like, it's been standing up there and like... At one point, you see him like as DeMar walks past him. And DeMar not paying him any attention, by the way, which is the funniest way this could have gone down. But at one point, DeMar runs past him. And you see him mouth, yeah, fuck out of here, pussy, or some shit like that. And of course, Drake fans are saying that's not what he was saying. That's not what he was trying to say. He didn't care about that, which is then immediately rebutted by the fact that there's an interview done. So this game, as a matter of fact, it's a tribute game for some famous basketball players, like his jersey getting put up or some shit.
Wait,
so it's not even about like he's there as a guest for someone else. I don't know basketball super well. Forgive me that I forget this name. I think it's Vince something. And the only Vince I know is Vince McMahon, and it's not Vince McMahon. It's Vince Mahone, something like that. But he's supposed to be there for that. And then during an interview, the interviewer is starting to ask Drake a question, and before the interview can even ask the question, he says, "If a DeRozan jersey goes up, I'll go up there and tear it down myself." Like, he was like, "Is that what you were gonna ask me?" Like, the interviewer hasn't even gotten the fucking question out.
Was that like this moment when he was like,
"This is a separate moment that I'm about to talk about in a second."
Oh, yeah.
But like, yeah, he like throws this shot at DeMar DeRozan. So like, even if like during the whole game, even if you like, even with full benefit of the doubt that he wasn't trying to intimidate DeMar DeRozan, all of that goes out the window with this interview, because it's like, no, you're clearly bothered with DeMar DeRozan. And it makes what everyone is saying about you trying to intimidate him and it not working now is like confirmed, because it's validated, because now you're talking about DeMar DeRozan and you weren't even asked about him. You assumed that's what you're about to get asked. And your answer to that assumed question was you'll go up and tear it down yourself. So DeMar is asked about that later in a post-game interview where someone goes, "So we assume you heard that Drake said he'll go up and tear down your jersey if it went up. What do you think about that?" And DeMar goes, "Well, he'll have a long way to climb," and just gets up and walks off. Like, it was the last question of his interview. And just like, that's it, which people took like as like a little bit of a bar, because it's like, bruh, you fell too far to be trying to climb up and do anything. You have a long way to climb back up before you could ever like even think of reaching my jersey.
Bruh.
Right. So that happens. And then another development between someone Drake has always been beefing with, which this becomes a hilarious story. So, are you familiar with Pharrell Williams?
Oh, yeah.
You know who Pharrell is. Do you know who Pharrell Williams is?
Of course.
Oh, okay, good. You know, like, if you don't know who Pharrell Williams is, if anything, you know him either for the song Happy.
Because I'm happy.
Or you know him because, actually, you might not know him for that, but he is very famous in a song that everyone knows called Drop It Like It's Hot.
Drop It Like It's Hot.
He was the other rapper.
That was him, though.
Yeah, he was the other rapper along with Snoop in that music video.
Oh.
He also, Pharrell, and if you don't know him at all, you probably do. You just don't know it's him, because Pharrell is the producer behind like 60% of pop, R&B, and hip hop.
That's true.
He is one of the most legendary producers of music, like fucking ever. And also he is he has some high position in is it Versace? No, not Versace. Some high clothing brand, like a really famous clothing brand that I know the name of. I just can't immediately think of. It's not Versace. It's not Gucci. It's not Dolce & Gabbana.
Louis Vuitton.
Louis Vuitton. Thank you. He's chief or vice president of something of Louis Vuitton, as well as like his own clothing shit, and then like one of the most like positive dudes you can meet in the industry. That like, he has his problems with people, but like they're super justified, and it kind of gets into this story.
He's got his own Lego movie.
He now has his own Lego movie. That's another big thing you'll know him for.
When's that coming out?
It's out.
It's already out.
What?
Right? He did the music for Despicable Me. Or did some of the music for Despicable Me. Like, and he's a dude that like is famous in the industry for like not really having a problem with a lot of people unless you give him a problem to have. And even if he has a problem, he's not going to make it like, he's not doing like subliminals and rap beefs and shit. Like he's not putting that stuff in his music.
The
except
only
a couple
reason he would
places.
have a problem with people is if people have a problem with him.
Which, fun story to truncate this shit. So, Drake has been beefing with Pharrell for a long time. And the reason he's been beefing with Pharrell is because Pharrell actually had problems with not Drake. He had problems with Lil Wayne, and he didn't even have problems with Lil Wayne. He had problems with Lil Wayne's original boss, Birdman. So to get into this bullshit, and I'm going to tell this story because it makes it extra stupid when we get all the way around to it. Back when Pharrell was pretty young, Lil Wayne was like a teenager, and Birdman was the one running. I cannot remember what the name of his label was, but he was running the label that Lil Wayne was signed to. Pharrell did music for Birdman and Lil Wayne. And after doing that music and doing the production for him, Birdman decided not to pay Pharrell. Allegedly. Cash Money Records, thank you. So Birdman doesn't pay Pharrell. Pharrell goes, dude, fucking pay us. Birdman refuses to. Pharrell goes, I'm not doing anything for you or anybody in Cash Money ever again until you pay me. So that kicks off a feud between Pharrell and Birdman, which also now then drags in Lil Wayne because Lil Wayne is the rising star of Cash Money Records. That ends up becoming this thing where Lil Wayne asks Pharrell to use part of his clothing brand, some clothes from his clothing brand, and this is before Louis Vuitton. This was his own thing. In some promo work or like a music video or some shit. Pharrell very explicitly tells him, no, you cannot use my clothing brand in any of your shit. Lil Wayne does it anyway. And so now Lil Wayne has now kicked off his own. So it's not just him being associated with Birdman. He now has his own thing where him and Pharrell now have beef. And then, so years go by, Lil Wayne signs Drake. A lot of people don't know this. Drake started with Lil Wayne before he went to do his own thing with OVO. And this is where it's weird because obviously, like, so Pharrell, like, doesn't get along with Lil Wayne or Birdman. And I might miss details in this when people are telling the story, but it seems like Drake just kind of takes on the beef because it's associated to Lil Wayne, the same way Lil Wayne took on the beef because he's associated with Birdman initially, and then creates his own beef. And so that's how we get to today, in which now Pharrell, like Drake has been beefing with Pharrell for some years now. Over that time, Pharrell starts another company that is for investing into like into new for people. I don't want to say it incorrectly, but he basically starts a company to help other people start their own, like either their own clothing brands or own music labels or some shit like that. And in creating this company to get capital for it, he donates a lot of his chains. He used to wear these super big and like very like noticeable chains. And
I heard it was described as a charity.
Getting there.
All right.
He auctions off his chains. I guess the thing would have been a charity or something like that. But he ought to get this thing going. He auctions off his chains at the time. And lo and behold, who buys them? Drake. Drake buys these chains from the charity for like $2 million or some shit like that. That ends up getting brought up. And I don't know what song it was that Drake said this in, but he alludes to that he melts down the chains. And it's like kind of just taunting Pharrell. Like with it, Pharrell doesn't say shit. During the beef with Kendrick Lamar and Family Matters, he tells, because Kendrick Lamar and Euphoria says, yo, for Pharrell, I'll inherit the beef. And that was alluding to like, you've been beefing with Pharrell for so fucking long, beef with somebody that actually raps and is going to actually take you on. Because once again, Pharrell is well known for not really having problems with people like that, or at least not bringing his problems to like public view like that. But Drake responds to that by going, you want to get your mentor's legacy. You want your legacy you want his chains come get his legacy out of my house. So once again, taunting both him and kind of doubling down with the Pharrell thing. That fast forwards us to last week. Pharrell is doing an interview. I forget I don't know if it was GQ. I don't think it was, but I think it was because he's got named Creative Man of the Year or something like that, or GQ's like creative something of the year. And in that interview, and this could not have gone worse for Drake, but in that interview, Pharrell gets asked about the chains. And initially they were like, when you found out Drake was the one who bought your chains, what did that mean to you? Like, how did you feel in that moment? He was like, dope. Like I know me and him got his problems, but he given regardless of everything, I know he's a fan of hip hop and I know he's a fan of the culture. And that's why he bought him, which is, I don't know if he meant it this way, but everyone interpreted it. He a fan, which would be so fucking funny if he intended that.
He is 69.
Right? Because to refer to somebody as a fan of anything means that by definition, you're an outsider to it. You're not really a part of this. You're just enjoying it from an outside view. But
that was a slap.
That was absolutely a slap. Like, that was a bar, like it or not. But
slap as in like a metaphorical, like physical slap, but also.
But as the interview goes on, the interviewer asks him, like, what did you feel about him saying that he melted the chains down and like melted down your legacy? And the response Pharrell gave as a nearly 50-year-old dude is the answer you expect from a nearly 50-year-old guy. Mm-hmm. He goes, look, I put those chains up for auction for a reason. When you let go of something, you need to let it go. I'm paraphrasing now. He was like, I let go of the sentimental value of those chains. Because if I wanted the sentimentality, I would have kept the chains. If they really meant that much to me, I would have kept them. I can't. He was like, when Drake bought those chains became Drake's. Mm-hmm. And he doesn't care what happens to him after that. He was like, when I let them go, I let them go. He was like, he said something about like, he realized how heavy they were after he let them down. Like, once he took them off, and like that his back wasn't working as hard anymore, because they were big chains and they were like solid gold. Like, they were big, heavy chains. Mm. But it's like the fact that he goes, you can't, basically he's going, he didn't do anything to my reputation because those are just hunks of gold. That's not how legacies work. That's not how reputations work. Mm-hmm. It's like, I'm still Pharrell. Like, I'm still one of the biggest names in the, not only in the forefront for hip hop, but also in the background of hip hop. Like, like the dude is full stack is really what he is. And it's just the class act answer he gave was its own diss track to Drake in itself, especially because everybody like listened to that and went, "Oh, that's what a grown man sounds like."
Yeah,
it's like
he didn't even give Drake the time of day in that answer. He was like,
he did. It was like, it's it.
Why would I care about this?
Why would I care? Like, what reason do I have to care? He bought the chains.
It's not like I was gonna go visit them or anything.
Right? Right? Like, and it's this really funny thing because Drake over the years have been like treating it like he jacked Pharrell for the chains.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And
like
it's like
for $2 million.
For $2 million, like, no,
I donated $2 million to charity.
All this money to charity, of no less, to get these chains, and now I'm gonna wave it in your face like I took them off you. It's like,
it's his legacy. It's his whole legacy. I don't care about those chains. They're yours now.
They're yours. Shit. You bought them. I don't give a fuck. It's like that could not have went any better for Pharrell and any worse for Drake. Like, it's one of those things where like the more time goes on, the more it's like the more correct Kendrick Lamar gets, like with almost everything he said about Drake, is just becomes more true, and everything Drake said about Kendrick becomes less true, and it's just really funny.
He a fan.
Really makes Drake look like a little dog pissing on somebody's outdoor shoes,
right? Yeah. Which, to make that even worse, is the artists that have been coming out like defending him and like trying to play like, oh, poor Drake. Like, so there's been this thing going on. Yeah. And like, so we all know the academics. We all know the Rory and Mal's. We all know it's not even Rory, it's Mal in that group who's been doing it. But the people who've been like trying to defend and like, oh, Drake didn't mean that, or oh, Drake isn't bothered. And if he is bothered, then he's not bothered by that. And like,
there will all the always bullshit. Be dick writers.
Always the dick writers. But there's been like higher profile names coming out as of late. So there's a UK rapper named Skepta, one of the biggest UK rappers out there, who was recently on an Apple podcast interview, where he was like, I really didn't like where this beef got to, and I think Kendrick took it too far. And it's like, because now we're throwing out accusations like pedophile and like saying things about people with no proof, and like, I think that's just too much, and it's making us all look bad because now all these deals are pulling out and it's hurting all of our pockets. And people immediately was like, fuck that, bro. What are you talking about? Firstly, if it was that bad, like the only person who lost brand deals is Drake, who lost his Nike brand deal. Because he was being called a pedophile. And also, let's not forget, because he did weird, creepy shit on stage with a 17-year-old girl.
There's evidence.
Where's evidence, which is the problem. But also, like, people, like, there's been a lot of, like, Kendrick took it too far by calling him a pedophile. What everyone seems to fucking forget, and maybe because Drake decided to pull the fucking, the song down, but people forget, Kendrick didn't start the pedophile allegation. Kendrick didn't start that allegation. Drake did. People forget that in Taylor Swift, the fucking diss track the second diss track he did, was it the second or first? No, he did Push Ups first. Taylor Swift was the second diss track he did to Kendrick. In that song, during the portion where he's AI deep faking Tupac's voice, he says, talk about him liking young girls. That's a gift from me. People keep saying that Kendrick took it too far. Drake's the one who put it out in the battle. And they just keep forgetting that fact. They just ignore that fact. Like, y'all forget, Kendrick's not the first one to bring up that Jake is fucking weird around little girls. He brought it up. He said it himself. He said, take this, it's a gift from me. So not run around playing fucking, because reminder, even though it was deep fake, it was still Drake rapping it. Drake out of his own mouth say, hey, talk about how Drake likes little girls.
Oh, I see. So it was like I'm going to predict what you're going to say about me.
More or less. But what it was is an attempt at doing something Eminem did in 8 Mile. 8 Mile is a autobiopic that Eminem did way back in like mid 2000s or some shit. And in that movie is talking about his life of like coming up in like fucking extreme poverty Detroit, and him doing like being an underground battle rapper and all that shit, and how in the climactic battle rap of the movie, he starts his round off by literally talking shit about himself. And so he talks about how he's white trailer trash. He lives with his mom. He can't get a fucking job. His girl cheated on him. How one of his friends shot himself in the foot. How one of his friends is an Uncle Tom. Like a bunch of shit that he's talking about himself. Because usually in a battle rap, the thing you do is you get a lot of dirt on the person you know, and you talk about the shit that they've done. And so the tactic, which worked really well for Eminem, was to go, I'm going to take everything you had to say about me and say it myself. And say it loud and proud, and then talk about you. And it took all the wind out of his opponent's sail. Who, if you didn't know, that dude's I forget what his rapper name was, but his name was Clarence. Clarence in 8 Mile goes on to become the Falcon in MCU. So that actor is Clarence in 8 Mile.
Really?
Yeah. So he did buy. Yeah. This dude thinks he's Avenger. His real name is Clarence.
I remember.
That's where that joke comes from.
I remember seeing that clip, and yeah, that's right.
Yep. So that takes all the win, and so Drake tries to pull that move, which doesn't work. And someone pointed this out, and I hadn't really thought about it. It's like the problem with trying to pull that move. Everything Eminem said about himself was true. That was the whole point.
Well, yeah, and it's a little better when everything about you that's true is like, I'm broke, I'm a deadbeat.
I'm broke, I'm a deadbeat.
And not I'm a criminal.
My mom hates me, I do drugs, and my friends are stupid. Like,
yeah, I'm a pedophile.
I'm a pedophile. That's a gift from me.
What now?
You can't say that in your beef now because I already said it before you.
But I can repeat it, right? Yeah.
The severity is fundamentally different. That was just...
It's fucking criminal is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's...
not just criminal.
Yeah, it's fucking evil. Like, actually evil. It's every day just... it gets a little worse for Drake every day, and the more he tries to like do, like he did the whole he tried the whole I'm unbothered thing, and that didn't work out because he was clearly bothered. Now he's trying the whole I'm gonna lean into it, and now I'm gonna be the villain, but that's not working.
Well, he's not a good villain.
You're not a really good villain. You kind of suck at this, bruh.
Kind of like that cartoon villain that like comes in, like tries to do some stupid ass shit, and it never works. So he's always like, darn, I'll get you next time.
He's like a fucking Despicable Me villain, like,
Now he has he's announced that he's working on a new album with Party Next Door, and people are clowning him for that because
playing with his nose now.
Party playing with his nose now, because this thing is he's had Party Next Door on his team for so fucking long and has never done anything with him. And now that he's like, no one's willing to work with him, he's running the Party Next Door to do an album. And people are like, Party Next Door shouldn't even fucking talk to you, but he's kind of on your payroll. That's the only reason he's probably doing this album. Because like you've been ignoring this motherfucker for so long, and now that you have no one else you can run to, because everybody's like kind of backed up away from you, you're now running back to a motherfucker you've been paying no attention to.
Bottom of the barrel.
Like you're scraping bottom of the barrel, basically. Or I don't want to say it that way because that insults Party Next Door, but it's like to you, that's basically what you're doing.
It's not even, well, it's not bottom of the barrel, it's extortion.
Yeah. Right. And so it's like
you're not scraping the bottom of the barrel, you're
even the people that have been like
taking advantage of what you've neglected.
Is Party like a producer or?
I don't fucking know. I didn't know he existed till this beef. But as far as I know, he is an artist. He actually does raps and he writes raps, but mostly he's been probably just writing shit for Drake lately. And I guess that's something I learned is like how rap labels like kind of work. You really have one main artist that everyone that is kind of your main cash cow that you put out music for. You do put in other artists, and then they usually become like features on albums, or they'll like do small projects and side projects, but they're not as heavily pushed as like your main artist. So like with OVO, it's Drake. With Dreamville, it's J. Cole. With PG Lang, and when it used to be TDE, it used to be like when he was on TDE, Kendrick. With Shady Records, it's Eminem, or like kind of used to be Aftermath, or especially back when it was Aftermath, it was definitely Eminem. Like you have like one main, like with like how video game companies have like one main game series that is like their cash cow, and then a bunch of like smaller stuff that doesn't get as big of like attention sometimes, but it's still like kind of big out there. That's kind of how rap labels work. But so I don't know to what degree, but it sounded, from what everything I'm hearing, it sounded like not only was like Party Next Door kind of just like on the back burner, he was kind of like the forgotten child, like the forgotten middle child type shit. But so like Drake announcing this album with Party Next Door doesn't feel like a victory for Party Next Door.
Yeah, now
it feels like another loss, right? It feels like another loss for Drake. Like, oh, you're running to somebody because you have no one else to run to. That's what it sounds like. It is like, man, shit just could not be going worse for Drake right now.
I also wanted to say something real quick. So circle back to the like, it took it too far. It's such a nothing.
That's such a nothing argument.
Non-substantive. Like you're looking at somebody. It's like pointing at somebody with blood on their hands and be like, "We can't call him a murderer. That's just too far.
That's just too much.
That's just too far."
Like
maybe we don't know if it's his blood or somebody else's, but it's still a pretty reasonable accusation.
It's that annoying thing of that's when people decide to do like this dude, the dude with blood on his hands was able to call the guy accusing him of being a murderer, was able to call him a thief and like an assaulter, and y'all didn't give a shit about that. But the second he said that blood on your hand is because you killed somebody, what happened to innocent till proven guilty?
It could be red paint, guys.
You don't know what that is, and we gotta. And
you know nothing about that.
Well, and it's just the annoyance of it's only for Drake. It's only been for Drake. Like no other artist has ever gotten this treatment after a beef. Kendrick hasn't been getting this treatment. J. Cole has not been getting this fucking treatment. If anyone was going to be getting it, you'd think it'd be him. But then you take it back to like when, with like Ether, like when I should know this dude's name. He's like one of my favorite fucking rappers. But now that I've said it, I can't think of his fucking name. One mic by Nas. When Nas was going against Jay-Z, Like, they said some heinous, wild shit. No one said that about that. When Ice Cube was going against NWA in No Vaseline, he said some wild, crazy shit. No one said, like, you're taking it too far and, like, you're saying too much. When one of the fucking most famous diss tracks of all time, Hit 'Em Up by Tupac, came out, and the motherfucker was saying, was like making fun of a dude with sickle cell, like, disease, and was like talking about killing people and their whole fucking lineages and shit. No one said shit about him taking shit too far. When fucking Drake and Pusha T was at like the height of their beef, no one said shit about anyone taking anything too far. But now it's too much. Now it's too much.
It makes me deeply suspicious.
And then they go back and actually defend Drake, and that too, of like, outing a man's child is too much. It's like, shut the fuck up. Like, Drake is the only person who gets this weird, like, you got to keep it above the belt. But you're saying this makes you suspicious of something, and yeah.
Well, why is it too far? Huh? What's the line that was crossed? Because clearly violence isn't the thing. Clearly exposing shit that people do that's heinous isn't the thing. Clearly saying stupid shit isn't the thing. So what's the line that was crossed?
Accusations of crime is not a line.
Yeah.
Because that's not a new thing.
It makes me think that there's shit that they're doing that they're getting away with because they're rock stars. And when Kendrick calls out the shit that Drake is doing that he shouldn't be getting away with, they're like, hey, what are you doing? We're all supposed to be okay with this. That's what it makes me think.
Oh,
that's what it makes me think.
Yeah, it's like a bunch of people that wound up at the white party, Mark Ruben's white party, and have been partying with Diddy for a very long time.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna find a Diddy list.
Almost like Skepta might be on that fucking list. Almost everybody who's been like actually in the industry, not like the fucking podcast level motherfuckers. Those are just dick writers. But there's been a lot of people like in the industry who've been saying like that's too far. You have a history of hanging with Diddy and being at some of those parties, don't you?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. They don't want nobody looking into it too much.
You're all looking too deep. And the more this gets talked about and the higher chance it starts getting actually looked into and investigated, the higher likelihood you get found out as being, if not straight up involved, at least willingly complicit. And that's going to be a real bad time for you. It's like, it's exactly the same thing of like when Weinstein and other Hollywood execs were starting to like go up for the Epstein shit, and like Epstein's like list and shit was going down. And all of a sudden you had the whole like, can't people make mistakes and grow and be better? And hey, assault and rape is too strong of a word, and we need to like not be throwing that word out so casually. We need to be using more gravity with that word. It's like, we know who was a part of it. You can tell who was a part of it. Mm-hmm. It's like, sometimes if y'all shut the fuck up, you might do actually better, but you're telling on yourselves now. Mm-hmm. And that exact thing has been talked about a lot, particularly with Skepta. Is like, you have ties. And because Skepta's been in this game for a long time. I remember the first time I heard a Skepta song, I was still in like high school. Like, so he's been in this shit at least since like early 2000s. And might even be older than that. That's when I discovered him, was like mid aughts. But yeah, so shit gets funnier and funnier and sadder with Drake. We'll see if anything else comes about this year. There's been rumors that Taylor Swift is going to be on the Kendrick's upcoming album. In what particular role, nobody really knows. Whether she actually does part of a song, because he's done features for her, so she might be doing a feature for him, or if she's going to be in a producing role or something like that. No one really knows. But yeah, my next big thing is going to be the Super Bowl, and seeing. I'm just really curious what his set list is going to be, because that'll be really funny. But yeah, I did not mean to talk for an hour and a half about this shit, or an hour, however long we've been fucking going. But yeah, people get really upset that there are YouTube like hip hop like commentators that are still talking about the beef. But it's like, what the fuck are they supposed to do? Shit keeps coming out. It's still ongoing.
It's still relevant.
Like there's a fantastic hip hop that he really has built a channel around like pissing on Drake. It's really funny. But it's like people get so mad and they're like, man, this dude is just dragging this beef out. It's like this shit's ongoing. This is like when he put up the video about the Pharrell Williams interview, people are like, man, you're dragging this beef out. That interview was like 3 days ago, bro.
That's a separate thing.
This is all ongoing because as it turns out, it's all connected. Mm-hmm. Sorry, Drake doesn't know how to stay out the fucking limelight.
I was gonna say Drake doesn't know how to stop being Drake.
Like, sorry, he gets off on drama, I guess. Mm-hmm. But if this motherfucker's gonna get paid, damn right. In fact, like I just told the dude was like complaining that all he does is like Drake and Kendrick beef content. It's like, yeah, look at you commenting, look at you engaging with it. Mm-hmm. And I said this, we said this in an episode before. If you don't like something, quit fucking engaging with it. Because any engagement, positive or negative, no matter what your intention with your engagement is, you can fucking comment 200 times about how much you hate the video.
Please do.
Actually, if you hate our fucking content, please let us know in the comments. But that's 200 comments no matter what.
That's engagement.
YouTube does not have a positive negative gauge. It has there is no such thing as a negative engagement. It's it's just engagement.
In fact, they purposefully got rid of part of the negative engagement by getting rid of that thumbs down button.
They didn't get rid of the thumbs down button. They got rid of showing you how many thumbs down.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, so you can still hit the thumbs down button, but I think what they got rid of it for was so that people stopped realizing that it didn't mean anything. It was yet another metric. It was like the entire thing is you add a metric to it. Mm-hmm. Just because you hit the dislike button, you didn't take away engagement, you added more engagement. And that's what people have to get to. Every like, share, and retweet of a tweet on X is still a share and a retweet, even if you're doing it in spite. Mm-hmm. It's the thing of if you really claim you don't like something, the next time you go to either downvote or to voice your displeasure, take 50 cents, put it in an envelope, address it to the person you're about to go say this to, and pretend like you're about to go mail that, because essentially that's what you're doing. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter how much you dislike it. If you're paying for it, you're paying for it. And that's essentially what you're doing. You're giving them more. You're just giving them money to say how much you don't like something.
Yeah, that's the way. At least that's the way the current system works.
The way the system currently works, that's basically what it is.
It's because it's paid to keep. They get money for keeping your eyes, not creating quality or goodness
or agreeability or like anything like that. It's the reason why there's so much more like rage bait content out there, or what is now being called engagement bait. That's why you get the weird shit like
that's why I just watch a fucking crafts video where they plugged a fucking PVC pipe into the wall for like
5-minute crafts is a perfect example of this. Actually is 5-minute crafts the reason those videos like are so fucking stupid, and is like it makes you look at it and go, that seemed more roundabout than like a simpler solution, is because that's the point.
It sucks me in every fucking time.
It keeps you
where
in,
they
and it
stick their foot in alginate and then cover it in syrup and call it a shoe, and you're like, what the fuck did I just watch?
And you feel impulsed and
to
you
go
want
comment and go say, what the fuck was this? Yeah. And then you look and see a few million other people have said that same comment. There's a reason they do it. Mm-hmm. There's a reason you have the weird post on TikTok of what is it? All I want is a man to sweep me off my feet. Now replace the M's with F's and read it again. And it makes no fucking sense. It's so that in the comments, you have a bunch of comments going, huh? What does that mean? What is this?
Somebody explain.
I don't get it.
Somebody explain. It's like, because you stupid motherfuckers are doing exactly what it's meant to do. It's engagement bait. You're meant to engage, and they're getting you to engage.
I hate those every time when I'm like, because there are ones that make jokes that make you think for a second, and so you pause to see if there's actually a joke, and you're like, there wasn't anything there.
There was never a joke.
You have to be able to realize that so fucking quickly for it to not work on you. It's almost impossible.
Yeah,
it sucks.
It does. Like, there's some of them where I know well enough where it's like, if I don't get it, it's because I'm not meant to get it.
Well, yeah, but it's also because there's a pattern that you've started to recognize. But The fact that it's just a duplicated format, it means they're going to figure out another way to do it.
I'm less upset about those. I hate more when it's like clearly I'm not going to be upset that the content creator is pushing engagement. This is their fucking livelihood. My upset actually does come with the commenters and the viewers and what normally I wouldn't be upset with the people that have to like buy the product. But it really is like at a certain point, you have to realize like you are creating your own monster to hate. And I can't fault them for I'll say it like this. As much as my views of it have changed over time, I'm going to go back to what my original views were. Shit like the thirst traps on Twitch and like the jacuzzi parties and the bikini streams and shit like that. Back when I was like, why like just stream this shit on Pornhub or whatever the fuck, or like the thirst traps and stuff, or like the clearly trying to bait you into going to their OnlyFans type shit. I don't fucking blame them because it fucking works. This shit doesn't work. Like, I put more blame on the people complaining about it because you keep letting it work. Like the people that fucking donate, like, so if like a stream, like, this is not about just the bikini shit anymore, but like there's streamers who will set up, I'll set up so that if you donate and send a comment with the donation, it'll read out whatever you said. And people will send hate messages about how much they hate, like, obviously not enough to get the stream taken down, but just enough to like, I fucking hate you. Your voice sucks. Like you're fat, you're ugly, whatever the fuck. Right. And it's like,
you just paid me.
Thank you.
Thanks for the dono, baby.
Thanks for the dono.
Thanks for the $5.
You paid me $2, $5, $10 to like read out because it's like, oh, you're gonna hurt my feelings. That's a pretty good
policy for fucking life. If somebody wants to hurt my feelings,
you can say whatever the fuck you like. Just
give me $5. You can say whatever
you like. Like, it's just like, and this is, and I do hate this system. I hate that this system is like this, but I hate that the part of the system that could fix this is never going to realize it.
Well, because they don't,
And it's a good allegory for politics.
Anywho, I'm ready for a break.
That's fair. Let's take a break. I did not mean to talk about this as long as we did, but we'll go on and take a break and we'll be right back.
So I recently started engaging in polyamory.
You goddamn heathen.
I know. I'm a
the devil.
Sinner.
The devil.
I thought I went to do this, but I was like, wait a minute. I'm not wearing a cross. So wear this crown, King.
That's what people hold up to you when they're like, Kingdom Hearts.
And I'm like,
I don't know Kingdom Hearts. Sorry for this actually serious conversation he wants to have with us. I just couldn't.
No, there can be no humor.
There can be no humor.
Sorry, I was just not trying to react to the funnies.
Continue, sir.
The
fucking war. Damn. It's okay. We're a House of Wars here.
So as part of that, like I've been doing, so like I started dating somebody who is poly, and so as a part of that, I now am poly as well. Or I wouldn't have to be. I could be monogamous for them, but I'm not going to do that.
Fair.
I'm going to take advantage of the agency that is given to me, and
you're exploring. You're experimenting.
I'm figuring shit out. But I've started doing some research into that, and sort of like relationship anarchy and like the different forms and the different expectations that people put on their relationships. And I had I think a realization about why I think one of the not said out loud reasons that conservatives or people in power care about legislating the family unit so much.
Really?
Yeah. And because they raise a moral question, right? Or a moral objection, but we all know that that's kind of, especially in a country with religious freedom like America, it's a pretty weak argument.
Because Jesus said so.
Like, Jesus said so is not a reason to pass a law. Right.
This 1,000-year-old book that we have said so. Yep.
And
written.
The other thing is, Jesus doesn't really say so. There are lots of different polyamorous relationships in the Bible that are ordained and like blessed by God.
We don't talk about it. We don't talk about it. We're not supposed to know about those.
It's okay if they're a concubine, okay?
Look, God said Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve and Margaret and no, it's really fucking stupid because there's multiple examples of like pretty fucking important like Old Testament religious figures that had multiple wives.
Mm-hmm.
Abraham is one of them. Abraham had a wife and a concubine.
Mm-hmm. Hey, go have sex with your concubine. Yeah.
Like encouraged by his wife, God. Like Sarah told him to.
Well, God.
And God was pretty like, that's not what I wanted you to do, but I don't hate that you did that in particular, but I still need Sarah to have a child. Sorry, we're hijacking your point.
No, you're absolutely fine. You're not hijacking it at all. Exactly like the Rachel and I forget her name or another example of that in the Bible as well. But I learned that historically, one of the big reasons why, one of the big excuses or reasons brought up against like gay marriage or queer marriage is they literally didn't think that gay people were capable of like heterosexual monogamous styles of love, right? They literally didn't think that they could do that, right? Which I think is really interesting because I think that one of the big reasons why they fear the existence of gay marriage is because it also implies that heterosexual people are capable of queer styles of relationship, of alternatives, just as capable of alternative styles of relationship as queer people are capable of heterosexual styles of relationship. And that starts to break down that fundamental like unit of baby making that is essential to capitalism.
It's like you could potentially be gay too.
I like your theory. My only problem with it is that it assumes that the people that are trying to write these legislations are already not living most of these lifestyles anyway. It's the same thing of like most of the people that are trying to write, essentially trying to legislate gayness out of society. I've been caught or is probably attending some kind of secret gay homosexual sex rings.
Why is it the outlawedness makes it better for them or something?
I think so. I think it's the taboo.
I think the taboo, and I also think that I think fundamentally they think the rules are different for them.
Yeah. And then there's also that of the power structure is different for me.
Yeah, and they want to be seen as the people who follow the rules that you should look up to, right? And it's like, oh, I follow the rules. See, look up to me, so worship me.
The only thing I would amend your theory with is that it's not the people in charge who feel this way; it's what they believe that their main constituents feel. And that's why they hold on to this shit so hard. It's because their constituents think this. The uneducated masses that are just pearl clutching and Bible thumping who believe this more than they actually do. But everything else you said, I think is spot on. I think it's 100% like it's 100% that.
Because like when they talk about like a family-based...
Your family unit, your nuclear family unit.
It's because they want the production of children. Just like when Democrats talk about when high echelon, when establishment Democrats...
I was about to say, he says Democrats and he means it derogatorily.
When I say Democrats, parentheses, derogatory...
He says Democrats with a hard R, yes.
Democrats.
Hats.
Put the rat in Democrat. When I say that, I'm talking about like establishment. When they talk about immigration. They don't want immigrants because they want people to have access to America. They want people to have amnesty from violent situations, that they are not racist or homophobic, or not homophobic, not because they're not racist, because they want the labor that immigrants bring to communities.
Yeah.
They want that labor because their constituents aren't making as many babies as the Republicans are, and they want people to vote. That's why establishment Democrats want immigration and not
like there's not a moral basis, or at least a good moral basis, to why establishment Democrats want anything. Is that it just kind of works out that one of their goals aligns with the idea of the goals of more progressive left-leaners.
Yeah.
Or left-wingers, whatever you want to call them.
Well, yeah, the where was I going with that? Just like no one. Yeah, the Republicans want marriage to be family based because it gives more meat for the grinder.
Yeah. Well, you can fucking look at why they're so damn against abortion.
Yeah.
Like that's the reason they're against abortion, is, and why it makes almost no sense that you'd be so against abortion that the idea of someone losing their life is you are more willing to penalize somebody for having to make a choice between her life and the life of an unborn child. Because literally, part of me fully believes that they are seeing a decline in our population, and at least a expected analytical decline.
Do you know where the primary decrease in fertility comes from in America?
Where's that?
From single mothers not becoming single mothers.
Really?
Yes. If you I've seen the graph, but there's one line. There's a lot of not everything's kind of going down a little bit, right? But there's a line that's up here and then goes down to here, and that is women who would have give birth to a child and become a single mother. Like literally, the primary reason why we're having less children in America is because women are choosing to take control of their own destiny.
They're choosing that having a child right now is not good, and therefore I want to not have this child, even if I am pregnant.
They're not being forced to take a child to term, and then be forced to care for that child when they're not prepared to do it.
Yeah,
and so it's crazy. How
many women would choose to be a single mom? I know very few.
There are very few. There are some people that would choose to do it because they see it as like a mark of adulthood. There are some that would choose to do it because they genuinely want to be like a mother. They want to.
Yeah, we know one.
We do. But the yeah.
Anywho.
Yeah, I was like, huh.
But the population goes up at what cost? Violence, poverty, unfed people, a strain on multiple systems going up, because you have somebody who grows up in poverty and cannot feed themselves. You now have a woman who cannot feed her fucking children. You have multiple children in the hospital. Those children in the hospital, they're either growing up in and out of the system, so you now have a burden on the child care system. You now have overpopulation of schools, and you now have an overburden on the school system. That becomes a lot of uneducated or untrained and people on the labor system. And you wind up with a lot more people going into either homelessness or just low level unfunded because people can't afford to go to school. Yeah.
And so you're literally weighing down the chain all the way up.
Like if you're an unwanted child and your mom doesn't care about you, that you're probably not going to be going to a good place in life generally.
Exactly. And so everything up the chain from there through that child's life is now, it's not a guarantee. There's plenty of people who grew up in extremely impoverished situations that make it out, but that's, I don't know whether I would call it the rule or the exception yet, but
it's hard to climb a ladder with a broken leg.
It's hard to climb a ladder with a broken leg. Yeah. And so what you get, and this is why the main argument becomes, wanting a child born is not pro-life. Like I've heard the slogan a lot of like wanting a child born, but not a child fed, not a child clothed, or not a child homed, or not a child educated. If you're going to force these children into the world, but you don't want to do anything to help them get through the growing stage,
you don't want to support the mothers of their child care needs because they have to work and support the child at the same time.
Yeah,
you don't want free school lunches for kids who can't afford the. Like
you want this child born, but you don't want to have to do anything to help take care of them, then you're not fucking pro-life, you're pro-birth. And that's all you care about is another child being born but it's also by design because they know that becomes an uneducated person into the system, and it's much more likely for an uneducated person to vote for the power structure that put them in the place to begin with. Literally, I was looking at the breakdown of the voting demographics, both this year and 2020, and they have a breakdown based on college education. How do you think that fell? And I'm not, this is not like a dig at anyone who didn't go to college. This is not about being uppity about, oh, look at, we're all college educated, but it's like, it should tell you something that people that pursued higher education, that people that we consider, and we'll do this, and I say we, but like we as like society loves doing this thing of like getting a real job and going to college because that's what you're supposed to do. But as soon as people that did that and are en masse going, we need to vote this way, now getting that college education
becomes prohibitively expensive.
Yeah, prohibitively expensive. But I'm also saying like the college mindset is looked down upon, but it's also a requirement. Some would say is a requirement to having a better life, because you don't deserve a living wage if you're flipping burgers or working in a grocery store. Go to college and get a proper job. Okay, now I went to college and I came out and went, the system's fucked up, and we should probably not have a system that says you have to like that working as a fast food worker should not have a livable wage. And now we're going, some people will go, those college educated people don't know what the fuck they're talking about. You're just uppity for your college education. Like we're seeing statistically that that there is a way that college educated people vote that should be a clear indicator as to why things need to be changing, but is not.
It's like a double standard.
It's a double standard
at every turn, it seems.
Right. But yeah, it's like, yeah.
I mean, it's even a double standard on abortion because like people who oppose it adamantly have gotten abortions.
Yeah.
Have gotten abortions.
But that
it
was just a mistake on my part. I'm not a bad person. It
was just a mistake. Like,
it's just that one time. It was just this. It was just that. But hey,
right.
I'm pro-life, I'm pro-life now.
I'm pro-life now. And now ignore the part where I have a mistress who, in the middle of me fighting for this whole pro-life thing, I have a mistress who I forced and paid and coerced into getting an abortion, because that's happened a couple of times now. Over the fucking years in which this has been a thing.
Still vote for me because
Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so backwards.
It's fucking stupid.
It is.
Like, it's idiotic. And it's what's more crazy is how like obvious all this should be, and people still ignore it.
Yeah,
and people go,
or just say, because of my religious views, it just ask for repentance and it's forgiven
because of the Bible.
And it's like, okay, but if that's the way you're living your life, if that's how you're really going to, choose who you're going to put in this position of power,
then why can't the lady who had an abortion just repent?
Prison.
No, put her in prison because we have to punish them now, or otherwise they're going to keep doing it. It's like, well, you keep sinning too, and you don't seem to fucking care. But if the sin is going to if the sin is the problem, then the fornication was the problem to begin with. So we're already well past the sinning point. So what are we doing?
Yeah. Well, sin is never an excuse to legislate.
No, it's not. Clearly,
sin is very rarely a legitimate reason. Like, I think we can all say here. That's something I want to
say too. Sorry, keep going, but
and talk about like, maybe murder, not chill, right? But like, when it comes to the particulars,
the really funny part though is that murder is a universal law that's not tied to any particular religion.
Yeah,
Like, and that is just a fundamental rule born about through millions upon billions of years of evolution that is like ingrained in our DNA as just instinctually. You like, just like we as social creatures know that killing of another like creature within our society is just inherently wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And there's some like moral, like philosophical debates to be had about that. I fully agree. Like I would agree with that of
probably most, like you probably have like sociopaths or whatever.
Right. Like I am not going to get into this tonight. Like the tangent I was about to go on. But yeah, it's like there are certain things in certain social mores that are sold in religion, but were not created by that religion, right? It's like that was already a rule before this religion came about. Like it's don't murder parts of your society, members of your society has been a rule long before any religions that we know of today were a thing.
And too, if you think about it back, like when religions were sort of like writing their laws or whatever,
mm-hmm.
sex could be like super dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
Like you get a STD back in the day and you're probably done.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even without that, to wrap this back around to the abortion part, you know how fucking dangerous childbirthing is even today? Like,
Mm-hmm.
if it wasn't for all the medical shit we have like in place to make it easier, like the amount of women that would die in childbirth because of just how much it seems like nature doesn't want humans to be having children. Like
the amount of women that still die.
The amount of women that still die
because
from childbirth and the complications that come with it,
mm-hmm.
like, is insane. Imagine like what that was before the medical like science we have now.
Modern medicine is crazy.
Is nuts.
Like, I remember reading that book that you were supposed to read for your anthropology class.
You read that?
Damn.
Yeah. I listened to it. I put it in Speechify and then
Fair.
See, I wish I knew about that like throughout my entire educational career, because that would make stuff so much easier.
Right.
It did.
Continue.
I would just carve a pumpkin and read a book. But the like, because it was they were serving alongside, they were volunteering, I should say, alongside a midwife in somewhere in Africa. I don't remember the specifics, but basically a place that doesn't have access to the modern medicine. So it was just a woman assisting another women, like giving birth. Like she would literally like stand under and catch
hot towels and water is about all the medical attention you're getting.
Mm-hmm. And just like the number of every time she went in, they just toss up as to whether or not women would make it. She would literally see somebody pregnant and be like, the next time that they give birth, they're probably going to die. Right.
Jeez.
And just, that's just kind of how it was. Like they're smaller and they're next time they give birth, they're probably going to die.
What's that book? I read it too.
Oh, really?
You did?
Yeah, for my anthropology class.
But he didn't use speech. You read it from
Yeah.
the book.
The way God intended.
The way God intended.
It's called Dogs or something like that. Something about dogs.
I don't know if I would know the title even if I heard it.
Big dog go woof.
Woof.
No, that might have been the other one. Never mind. It's not important.
Fair enough. But yeah, it's like, yeah. I forget why we even got on that point. I forget what you were saying that got us on the...
We were just talking about structural injustice.
Yeah. Question everything.
Question all.
Double standards are everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And as much as I understand the importance of your religious beliefs also being a main component of your moral compass. And kind of like, it's like, I'm not so naive as to believe that you should ignore like
something
whatever your
like
injustice. Yeah. Like religion is, there was something that even back when I was still like a claiming Christian. And I think there was one of our friends who would always argue like, basically go ignore, like, you shouldn't be using your religious beliefs, but that kind of ignores how ingrained and important religious beliefs are to a person's core moral and like values and shit. But the fun thing is that I don't think you need to eschew, and we'll just say Christian because that's kind of the big one here in America, right? Mm. You don't even need to eschew Christian values to kind of get around to why voting the way conservatives have generally been voting lately is actually kind of against your own moral code. Like, just like Christians, if you don't know the etymology of the word Christian, right? Christ, to be Christian is to be like Christ. That's what the Ian part of Christian is. It is essentially means you're like Christ. What is Christ? Christ is not a name that people think it is. It is not Jesus's last name. Christ is a title. Christ means the anointed. So Jesus, the anointed one, is what that means. And so to be a Christian is to be like Jesus, is to be anointed. And therefore, if you are claiming you're a Christian, the point is to be like Jesus. And the Bible gives which hilariously, the Bible, the same Bible that is attributed to why homosexuality is so bad and all these different fucking sins that we like to throw in people's faces, that same Bible has Jesus. Literally go, those rules are obsolete, and regardless of the moral of it, that is not your calls to be making. There is a higher power that can make those calls. If you're going to be like Christ, the point is to love people, love the least of them. And that's where a lot of Christians, and that's what ultimately led me to becoming incredibly critical of Christianity, started, was the very clear cut ruling guideline of Jesus was love the least of them. Mm-hmm. Love, you need to be leading in love. And what we're seeing here is absolute hatred. Mm-hmm. Fear for the most part, but a fear that gives into hatred, that is festering itself into hatred, right? And it's like, if this is, I think it was a Gandhi quote.
I thought it was Yoda.
Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, Gandhi quoted Yoda.
Yeah. No, the quote I'm about to say. But actually, I think it was Obi-Wan, wasn't it? Or was it Yoda?
I think Yoda said fear leads to hate.
Well, fucking Yoda's Jesus. No, but there's I think it's a Gandhi quote, or it's a Muhammad or Prophet Muhammad or something like that. No, I think it was a pretty recent, a modern one, so I'm thinking it's Gandhi. Or it's the Dalai Lama, one of the two. But they say, I like your Christ. It's your Christians I don't like. Oh. And it was something of if everything you tell me about this Christ figure of yours sounds like a great figurehead, but the people who claim they're like him are everything but.
Where did y'all go wrong?
And that is I can respect someone's religious beliefs, but I need you to also respect your own religious beliefs. Is where it really comes up from.
Well, it all really comes down to interpretation, and
then we get here, and that's where it's and this is why you can all burn. So yeah.
Well, it does. A lot of it does create interpretation.
It absolutely does, which is why it sucks the most.
That abortion is such a hot topic issue is because they took one piece of scripture and they interpreted that to mean that Jesus says life begins when the sperm and the egg combine.
Right? The reason why homosexuality is so persecuted against is a fucking line about in the story of Sodom and Gomorrah, in which. I don't know how true this is. I don't know fucking ancient Hebrew. I don't even know modern Hebrew, let alone ancient Hebrew.
Or the
word
Latin that it was translated from and back into.
Right. Is but there's a lot of people saying, and a lot of that claim to be historian backed and linguistics backed, but saying when you look at the original either Hebrew or Latin or whatever fuck of the Bible, those Bible verses, is that the word, what we translate into laying with young men, is that word used wasn't meant to be about men. It was meant to be about children. that whole thing is saying that pedophilia is wrong. That it was never really talking about a man laying with another adult man is wrong. It was about a man laying with a child is wrong. But we chose, and whether it was, I think people say it was the King James that very much made it about homosexuality more than almost any interpretation before it. But it's like, yeah, it's the same verse you're using to browbeat gay people and the queer community had nothing to do with the queer people. It had all to do with the thing that Catholic priests are doing every fucking all the goddamn time.
Double stand.
But
that's why they changed it.
That's why they changed it.
Yeah.
So
the many different.
I'm not seeing all of
translations.
What is it? All of the plagues and whatnot.
Right.
Isn't there's a line in the Bible about if you change it, you'll experience all the plagues on or in the book or something.
Oh, right. It's like, yeah, it's longest running scam in the world, but
yeah.
Yeah.
Christians in society are in a very, very
precarious state
not so great place right now.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Did we do our last episode before or after it was after the election, right?
It was after the election.
Okay, so I'm not
right off of it, I think.
I'm not gonna pick that up tonight then. But yeah, where the United States country is at right now is not a great place, and it's definitely leaving. My opinion of religion continues to go down every day. Like, as much as I want to be respectful and I don't want to have like a negative connotation of a religion, it continues to go that way because at this point, the religion is the people. And people can say like, oh, well, you shouldn't allow, and I used to say this myself, like you shouldn't allow like your relationship with God to be dictated by the follies of people. But it's like, you know what? At this point, my relationship with God was always determined by people. At all times, it was always determined by what my pastor said or what people around me believed and what my parents believed. And like, so at this point, we can say like when people do positive things for Christianity, we want to attribute it and say that that's wonderful. But when they do negative things in the same name, well, now we got to separate it and we have to look at it different. It's like, at this point, no, because y'all don't believe that. And so I'm not going to pretend to believe that. So, yeah. Is there anything else you had to say?
Go gays.
Go
participate.
gays.
The personal is political. Be revolutionary. And you can be a revolutionary just by loving who you love.
Yeah.
Pro love.
Yeah. As bad as things look nowadays, we are still living in some of the best eras for this, and at least American history.
Things have been worse.
Things have been way worse in a lot of ways. So there's still a lot of work to be done, and there's still a long way to go. But don't let the current climate scare you into silence, submission, or just give up. When
we lose hope, they win.
Yeah. And as much as I hate the sentiment of like, I don't like to peddle sentimentality. I would like for there to be more action, but the fact is that we fight better when you're still here with us. And that's really what I would tell every marginalized group right now is now is not really the time to be giving up as much as I want to, as much as y'all do. Like, trust me, I fucking get it, but giving up is what truly lets them win.
White middle-class America loves to take credit for the social progress that we've made in this country. But if you actually look at the history of the things that have happened, changes only ever happened via collective actions by the groups who needed that action to happen on their own behalf.
Yeah.
Right. So if you want that change to happen, you can't sit around and wait for it. You gotta fight for it.
Yeah.
Some of the biggest advances in history over civilizations have happened after major setback or seeming
major setbacks. Yeah.
And out of that rises a new advancement.
Right.
That
and it's
8 steps ahead.
And it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be comfortable. It's going to suck a lot of the time until it gets better. One thing I had seen post-election that I was not planning on talking about tonight, but I'm going to now since we're here, is I saw a lot of people I'm seeing a lot of demographics attempting to island themselves off. I'm not happy about the orange motherfucker getting in the office any more than any of y'all are. But no one cares about us rhetoric that I keep seeing going on is you still have to accept that there's 2 truths you have to accept. One, Trump lost in every minority group. Trump lost the popular vote in every minority group. That's the first truth you have to accept. The second truth is that Trump had supporters in every minority group. And the reason I point that out is I've been seeing a lot of we're giving up because obviously y'all don't care. And since y'all don't care, we're not going to care. And it's no, people still cared. No, and it's been a lot of hand pointing at particularly other minority groups saying that you don't care. It's almost every one of those minority groups voted against Trump almost pretty much overwhelmingly. Well, I'll take it with these 2 demographic groups of black women and black men. Black men, there was more black men that voted for Trump this year than they voted for Biden back in 2020. Sorry, that more men voted for Trump than they did back in 2020. Trump still lost out with black men 75 to 20, 3-1. You cannot look at Trump's win as everyone else giving up because that's precisely what they want you to do. Okay, yeah, I don't know exactly when it cut out, but I know it cut out for a fucking reason, and I'm not going to let it keep cutting out. Like I said, don't give up, and don't believe that everyone else is giving up too, because if you believe everyone gave up and that you're the only one still fighting, that's the precise point they want us to get to. And be in your feelings right now, have the emotional reaction right now, but know that we all got to get the fuck up and we got to just keep going. Because I'll die before I live under a dictatorial regime and let that shit take the fuck over. Hell the fuck no. Yeah, y'all think y'all can turn this shit off? Nope. We gonna say it. So
we're on your ass.
Well, no, I feel like dictator is just too harsh of a term.
How about permanent leader?
Has a better ring to it, doesn't it?
I prefer grand poobah.
I like that grand part, but what if we made a wizard?
Fascist? No. Grand wizard? Yeah.
Yeah, the grand wizard. Maybe even also a grand dragon too. Anyway, let's.
I don't know how much of a tangent I want to go on about this, but did you know that it was I can't remember the exact story, but basically there was a kids television show that basically sort of made the KKK look uncool by infiltrating their organization. And then I think it was on the show. Was it a radio show? They would kind of mock them, and they would use their secret terms and stuff.
Really?
And then the actual people gathering the data would hear the KKK talking about this is embarrassing that these children know our secret phrases and passwords and stuff. I don't know. I thought it was kind of interesting.
I've never heard of that, but I would be down to see that if you can find it again. Maybe we'll leave that for next week. We'll dunk on the KKK.
Bring your best KKK stories.
If you got some funny KKK stories, you leave those down in the comments.
Not hopefully from within.
Or maybe from within. Maybe you got out. Even if it is, fuck it. All engagement is good engagement. I'm going to hold off on my other bullshit because my shit went super long today. Let's talk about this fucking logo design because I'm already mad.
Yeah.
What the hell?
So Mike, I work for a design company, and so we were in a heavy, I wouldn't say heated, because we were all on the same agreement about this.
So
but
it was a very
go to
agreement?
the Twitter thing first, and then we'll look at that, because that was something funny that one of my coworkers posted. But essentially, this company, car company, Jaguar or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. Redid this logo, as all these companies do nowadays.
If you're not looking at the screen right now, it is the shittiest redesign of a logo. I wouldn't even say that it's necessarily shitty, but
it's not. It's a font.
It's all the soul is just gone off this bitch.
Gone, sucked dry.
Like zero,
no personality,
no identity.
It's just the most blandest redesign ever.
They looked at Twitter to X and went, you know what? I think they got something going on there.
Right?
Like, the mismatch of uppercase and lowercase is.
I didn't even notice.
Oh my fucking god! What?
It's so that the A's are round and it matches the theme.
What theme?
The roundedness.
The roundedness.
The G is literally the Google G. I was wondering why.
It's literally the Google G.
I was like, you know, it kind of feels like the Google logo, but I was like, I don't know if that's an appropriate metaphor. And then, but it is literally the. Oh my god!
Yes, and I know this is a thread of like a whole bunch of redesigns and everything of other random things.
I think that's not that bad of a thing.
But
that's
like,
that one was sad.
That was sad.
But it's like today's big thing that caused this whole thread was the Jaguar redesign.
Yeah.
It was making a big splash on LinkedIn, apparently. I don't have the LinkedIn link or whatever, so I didn't pull it up. But I found that, and I was like, okay, I can at least talk about this and how sad it is.
Yeah, there's been a major push with logos to being like, honestly, it kind of...
The Discord didn't change anything. It just went...
So what everything has been doing is removing edges. Like they just been sanding off the edges of everything.
Well, it's flat, it's minimalist. It's modern.
Is definitely like where everyone's going.
Minimalist for sure.
And I imagine there's not a lot of people who give a flying fuck about this, but we're designers and we do.
We notice it the most.
In a lot of instances, it makes sense.
This I don't think is.
That's not that.
I think this is being thrown in there because you just don't like the new thing.
Yeah.
If you're not, fuck it. Come watch the goddamn show because I'm gonna have to put the work into putting all this stuff in here anyway.
He's talking about Blue's Clues.
Yeah, this is Steve from Blue's Clues and the current modern, which I think his name is Alan.
I have no idea.
I don't know his name.
I don't actually know. I've not seen it, but I do believe that is the guy who came after him because I think they replaced him with somebody who's Asian.
No, the Joe was just another white dude. There was like two other dudes, and then now this is like the current one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Trust me, I love Blue's Clues. It was my fucking show.
Yeah, that was
loved Blue's Clues.
But like this thread, I haven't seen everything in this thread. It's really just the Jaguar logo that I really wanted to talk about.
Fucking insane.
Well, this one, like the Jaguar is really bad.
I get wanting to do sort of like a redesign on the Jaguar logo because the font on that is starting to feel a little dated. But there's nothing wrong with the Jaguar itself,
right?
And the style and the motion and like the edge is all very much what Jaguar has always represented been. And going to fucking candy cane ass Google logo, like I don't know who without the actual like cat. Like
the
and do you know I would actually, you know what, let me post this, let me share this.
Also, why are all the letters social distancing from each other, like
right?
So like with the Jaguar logo, it's not super poorly designed. Like the symmetry between the J and the R and the A's is pretty nice, but like as the Jaguar logo, that's not it.
But it's
that's literally, yeah, you're right, that's literally what they're doing is.
Yeah, I'm gonna, and they.
Well, it's like they're doing an anagram. What is? They're not the anagrams, but the ones.
Can you flip it upside down? No, it would be Jadar
or something stupid like that.
But they probably could have figured out some kind of like flip thing and made it work to where it's like, okay, I guess I see what you're doing.
The philosophy of the design is there, but it doesn't work. I don't even want to say it doesn't work. There's no soul to it no more.
Well, okay.
And I have my own submission, by the way, for this, but
I posted something else too.
Okay.
They also dropped like this, the announcement and trailer thing,
Jesus.
right? And it's even worse.
Did they have like an accompanying product line? They just like, was somebody just super into fucking high fashion and they were like, you know what, I'm gonna ejaculate that all over this brand? Like, what's going on?
They hired a fashion firm to do the commercial for the car.
Is this real?
No,
or are you
no.
You know what? Let me look up
Coming
one
up
more
with
time
ideas.
to make sure that I know. Hold on.
But also, there was no car in the car commercial.
Yeah, no, the super wasn't. I can tell you right now.
Yeah, it is a car. I'm making sure that I'm not being wrong here.
It's more of a brand commercial, for being particularly honest here. It's not.
But like
Jaguar, the brand.
But like,
I can tell you the reason that every company is going down this route, and I know y'all know the answer. And it's
rhyming?
No, it's because of this. It's because of Apple as a brand.
Yes.
You get Apple, who created this brand idea, which was the minimalist thing. You make it super fucking successful, and then you have 2 generations of designers who are all growing up under this design philosophy and are now all becoming like higher ups in their, and are now our decision makers in their companies that they've all spread out to.
You should have just taken the cat logo and
made something out of it.
Made it a silhouette. Just fill it in.
Something, right?
And no letters.
And the fact that their whole motto slogan now is "copy nothing" is very ironic, because they seem to have copied every single 21st century company in the rebranding of their company. Like, what do you mean copy nothing? You copied everybody.
You should have bevel and emboss and a rainbow gradient on that logo.
This is derivative because it's trying not to be derivative. It's like...
And this spawned an actual contest in our company's chat to see who could design a better logo.
Really?
Either better or just absolutely freaking nuts. Like better / worse logo.
Can we actually show these on stream, or is this like...
Yeah. I didn't think I'd go into showing all of it, which is why I didn't put it in there, but I definitely should, especially since we're talking about it quite a bit.
While you get those up there, I don't remember if I've talked about this on stream, but it's something that has always pissed me off a little bit. The fucking Pokemon does this, but it's not Pokemon as a whole brand that does it. It's Pokemon has this thing of, I hope these aren't fan made, but it gets the point across. The fucking logos for Pokemon games, for some reason, lose all personality when they get translated to English.
Oh, yeah.
And it has upset me since like Gen 4. Like, this has been an upset for me since like high school.
That is a downgrade.
Yeah. Like, they refuse to get rid of the blue and yellow Pokemon logo.
I mean,
it always has to fucking be here. And we never get like cool graphic design like this for the name. Like, this says Pokemon Sun, Pokemon Moon. Like, we never get this. We never get them playing with like doing cool shit with the Pokemon logo. It always has to be this fucking stupid ass blue and yellow goddamn logo, and I hate it.
Putting it up next to the actual Japanese, right?
Yeah.
Japanese like icon and logo there makes me think of like Comic Sans. Like,
yeah,
you got the super cool ass, like sleek and smooth logo that's like, ah, damn, that's sick. And then Pokemon. The same fucking Pokemon logo they've been putting up since the goddamn 90s. But yeah, sorry, we're having extreme audio issues today. But yeah, it's like,
I mean, people would probably lose their mind if you changed the Pokemon logo, though.
Except I don't think so.
No?
No. I don't think people care about the Pokemon logo as much as Game Freak thinks they really fucking do, or at least Nintendo of America thinks they do.
Mm-hmm.
Like the same way, I don't think people care as much about fucking Pikachu as they convinced themselves they did, and we know this because they finally got rid of Pikachu in the goddamn show.
Oh, yeah.
Actually,
really?
I think they because they got rid of Ash. Ash is no longer there.
Oh,
yeah.
You now get like different Pikachu showing up, but which was expected, and Pikachu is still the major mascot along with Eevee. But I think a lot of that stuff is usually corporate mandates more than they are like, if you get rid of Pikachu, it's going to ruin the appeal of the brand. It's like, for the most people, fuck no.
Yeah, but I think the question is less if you get rid of Pikachu, it's going to ruin the brand, and more if you get rid of Pikachu, what do you replace it with, right? Because Pikachu is a fucking moonshot. Right.
It is.
Getting Pikachu, getting the success, the appeal, right? I don't think they've ever been able to replicate that with any Pokemon, no matter who your favorite Pokemon is, right?
Right.
The universal appeal and recognition of Pikachu, like swapping that out is like doing a dick transplant. I don't think
I want. I've grown rather fond of mine.
Yeah.
It could be Shane Diesel's for all I fucking care. I like my dick.
But like the logo, like you
drop a like if you
it.
know who Shane Diesel is.
Like you could change the colors at least.
Yeah, like
I don't know.
But here's the other, like the part of that though is Japan's already doing it. Like these ones in particular are not fan made.
I mean, it looks like Japan's been changing it up since the beginning, sort of, right?
Yeah. They've been doing like special graphic design to the Pokemon logo since the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand why when it goes global, it's like, it looks like they've been doing it for so long that them doing the version
they came ours, back.
It didn't come back. That's
the
new.
First time.
That's the first time. Like,
no, it's going away. See,
they're like, we tried everything else, so let's
try that.
Let's
like,
just be bland.
What is this absolute refusal?
Well, maybe we're seeing a shift. Maybe the Japanese will do the blue and yellow now, and America will, or the international English will.
Right.
Oh no,
will change to the cool stuff.
Everything that 21st century companies are doing right now and modernizing and minimalizing is what Pokemon is now doing on Japan's side.
Yeah.
They're minimalizing.
We have to minimalize it. We have to use the established paradigm. And it's like, yeah, no, that's just been annoying me for quite some time.
There's some
these fucking logos though. And the fucked up part is that they still have more heart and soul.
Personality, yes.
Like, just personality is way up.
And this can't be copied. Maybe it can be, but...
Maybe.
Jaguar.
Yeah, why? Jaguar. That was very much on purpose.
Yeah.
Jaguar.
But I like how they incorporated the fuck cat. I don't know if that would have gotten away at all with an official logo, but it fuck is there.
Just that,
and then someone who actually did a good goddamn job.
I think this is AI.
This is AI for sure. But even
the computers did a good goddamn job.
Yeah. The computers did a better
AI
job.
did a better job.
And that's just like Ferrari. But like,
it is, yeah.
I don't know. It's just, we were having a good time. We were having fun joking around about it. But like, honestly,
which one
anything else? What?
Which one did you do?
Neither of them.
Oh, you suck.
I didn't actually participate.
You suck.
I actually had to work.
You fucking workaholic.
Suck.
You stinky man.
I know. I couldn't beat these anyway. I'm looking at them. I'm like, yeah, no, these are all satirical, hilarious. I couldn't be any funnier.
The cat
or
one
any
is
seriousness.
The cat one is so funny.
The cat one is really fucking funny.
Jaguar.
Which cat might be owned by Jaguar?
Is it?
I don't know. I do not.
No, we're quoting you on that one.
I want to say cat
that's now fact.
Owned. That's now fact. You know what? Fuck it. Don't even look it up. It's fact now. It's now fact.
Every time you hear about Caterpillar or Jaguar, you have to say, Jaguar owns Caterpillar.
Jaguar is a cat. Yes.
You know what's fun? I completely forgot that full title was Caterpillar.
Oh yeah.
I forget that every goddamn time.
I think they might have just abbreviated it to cat.
Oh, they do. Mm-hmm. They abbreviate it to cat, but I always forget that.
I forgot about that too. Actually,
yeah, I forget that the full title is in fact Caterpillar.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
They're not cat trucks; they're Caterpillar trucks.
Which makes it funnier.
They're gonna become a butterfly.
Which makes that funnier somehow, actually.
Right?
Are we gonna talk about the Jaguar schedule?
Yeah, well, yeah. Then
I'm gonna close that now.
This is obviously fake, but this apparently was something that someone posted in LinkedIn. And
so the thing is, I thought this was your direct photo. I thought this was like there's an image of someone's schedule,
like a Google Calendar,
or
Apple Calendar.
New Jaguar logo launch
from 9 to 10 a.m.
A quick chat after the launch.
Because they released like here's our new logo launch, and then it gets people like reacting to it, and then they're like, oh,
I'm not even going to explain it because I think they're going to understand as they see this. Jaguar logo full team regroup, design department all hands, lunch canceled. Find cool pictures of Jaguars urgent. Jaguar logo debrief. Call therapist. Decline Jaguar logo launch celebration party. Oh my fucking goodness!
Why do I have 97 Slack notifications?
I would fucking hate. I would actually hate to be on the design team for this shit when this came out. Because
I mean, I would hate to get fired too.
Yeah, yeah. You know what's fun? I fully believe that everyone who gets fired is just being thrown under the bus for a manager that refused to let them change this.
Yeah, I believe that as well.
Like this is absolutely someone making the decision they should not have made, and is now going to put a lot of people out of work to cover up the fact that this was their decision.
Mm-hmm.
Part of me is curious because Jaguar is a luxury brand, but it's like a lower to mid tier. Part of me wonders if there are just something that because we don't have the billions that we're just missing because we're not so far up our own assholes. You know what I mean?
It's for engagement, guys.
Maybe this could maybe.
No, they did it.
Maybe they got us with engagement bait.
Son of a bitch.
Jaguar engagement baited all of us.
Damn.
I'm going to go become a nun in the mountains.
I will be honest. I did not know Jaguar was a brand before this.
Really? No one talks about them anymore.
I did not.
Like Jaguar was the brand. Actually, was it even? But I'm about to make an analogy. Jaguar was the brand you talked about the way people talk about Maserati and Bugattis now. That was what Jaguar was. They're like he said, they're a luxury brand, but they're not exactly like Rolls-Royce level.
They're not Rolls-Royce,
they're above Cadillac.
They're like if you want a cross between a Cadillac and a Ferrari, but you can afford it as somebody who's like upper middle class to like lower bourgeoisie.
Jaguar was the car you bought when you just crossed over into 7 figures. Like you have a 7-figure salary. Like you are making more money than most people will see in their lifetime. But you're not exactly making Rolls Royce, or you
can't afford to blow those 7 figures on a Ferrari.
Yeah, that's actually perfect. That's a perfect analogy.
Discount luxury.
Discount luxury. Yeah.
Okay.
Like Cadillac was the car. People
poor man luxury.
Poor man luxury. Legit. Cadillac is a thrift shop luxury. Jaguar was discount luxury, and then you had your true luxuries in Rolls Royce. Actually, I would even say Rolls Royce was premium luxury, and then luxury was like Fiat, Porsche was your luxury stuff. But yeah, the absolute soullessness that is almost every facet of like I remember there was that one picture of the Nickelodeon corporate headquarters back in like the early 90s versus what it was in like 2013. And it was the most like in the early 90s, it looked exactly how you would expect Nickelodeon's headquarters to look like in the early 90s. Given everything we knew, it was exactly what a kid's vision of Nickelodeon's headquarters would have been. And seeing it in 2013 was exactly what those kids would look like now. Like old, tired, corporate, gray, splash of blue, like highlighted by blue, and that's it. Whereas in the 90s, it was like orange logo in your face, slime all over the place, bunch of random wacky colors all over the building.
I didn't catch it. I'm out of the joke. I'm on the outside looking. It looks real funny.
Someone at Nickelodeon really liked feet and got that because there was one of the main.
One of
the main Nickelodeon logos was like just a foot.
I remember that. Yes,
and
we don't have to get into all the Dan Schneider shit. Right
once again, it's one of those. The benefit of hindsight is like, that foot in there probably has more meaning than we were just joking about. It's like when you learn why Quentin Tarantino always has someone go barefoot. Has a woman go barefoot in his goddamn movies. Is because Quentin Tarantino likes feet, but he makes content for adults, and it's not weird, or at least less weird when it's for adults. But all right, we've been going for almost 3 hours.
3 hours, 15 minutes.
Holy shit!
Wow,
that's fine. We have a few fuck ups, and we did have a long break.
Yeah.
Did you want to do manhwa, or do you want to leave it for next week?
We could leave it for next week.
Okay. We'll leave this up. Well, between technical issues, a pretty heavy portion of the episode in between there, as well as like a new recap of all the shit that's been going on with Drake. Oh, Jesus. This was a hefty episode, so this is going to be fun to edit down later.
We didn't get to Minecraft. That was crazy.
We didn't even get to Minecraft. Yeah, we still got to talk about that next week too. But yeah, so.
It's okay. We'll maybe become a daily news channel.
I'm in for that, actually.
Honestly.
We'd have to make time for it, which means we need y'all to support us.
Yes.
So once more, like, comment whether you like or hate the show. As a matter of fact, if you hate the show, really comment. Please. Get down there. Let us know.
Yeah. Let us know what to change. Everything that you would love us to modify. Let us know how stinky we are.
Let us know how fat I am.
And make every single one of those points a separate comment.
A separate comment, yes. Like, we will not read it if it's all in one big comment. We do not have the attention span for it.
It's too long.
We're just too stupid.
Yep.
So yeah,
Tell us how stupid we are.
Tell us how stupid we are. Please. Tell us in extreme detail how dumb we are.
Hurt me so much.
Hurt me, daddy.
We like it.
We love it.
I want some more.
And then when you're done with that, share it to the people and let them know just how bad we are, and let the entire world know how fucking terrible this show is. Share it on your Facebook, share it on your Twitter, share it on your Instagram, share it to whatever Reddit. Let like the Reddit communities know how bad we are. Share it to fucking the B-boards, man. Share it to Anonymous and have them come inundate us with a fuck ton of hate. Just like come do it.
Come DDoS attack.
Come DDoS attack.
Swat us too while you're at it.
Just fucking swat us.
Dox us, swat us.
You know, just
fucking.
Wait.
Actually, wait. Don't do that one. Hold on.
wait. Let me tell you something.
Before you do the SWAT thing though, go to Spotify and 5-star and like us over there as well. And then also like drop $1 on our Patreon to really tell us how much you hate us.
Thank you to our.
You'll
Patreon
have direct
members.
access to us on the Patreon, so you can hate us much more intimately.
I'm gonna say I joked about everything before. If you actually pay for, or if you are a Patreon member, if you send us a special message to read and you're an active paid Patreon member, we will read it on this podcast.
We shall,
no matter what it is,
just for you,
as long as it's not illegal.
That's a lot of power, right? That's broadcasting rights, right?
Hey, we welcome it.
Well, you know the podcast that they would do where they read off the Patreon names. You have people whose Patreon names is like Buy Sparkle Donkey Tequila.
I fucking love them,
which is so good.
I like North of the Border. Yeah.
It's so fucking good.
By the way, shout out to Mike, our first Patreon supporter. Like I've not given you like your proper dues. Like fucking shout out to you, dude.
Sir.
What a
4chan,
babe.
go
What
find
a
him,
babe.
dox him, DDoS attack him.
Oh, my
you know what? Swat him too while you're at it.
No, don't do that.
Wait.
Oh my fucking goodness. Have a good night, y'all.
Peace.
Stay gay.
Bye.
Only pants.
Only pants. So